Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the PUBG Mobile Aim Africa. It is the day 8 of the semi-finals and we are going straight into the semi-final of the Group D. I'm Mega and joining me tonight as usual, 𝗦𝗘𝗘𝗚𝗏, how are you, man?
I've been doing great, and how about yourself, Mega?
Great. We've been seeing a lot of group last week, but this week, it's a new week, of course, for a lot of teams for this semi-finals team because we have three big days coming soon. Like tonight, it's going to be the semi-final for the final group of this semi-final stage, which is the Group D, where we're going to finally know the final 4 teams, which going to be entering the finals, which going to be in 2 days, so
Yes.
the next Tuesday and Friday.
It's going to be this week, this entertainment for the final. And for today's group, we have some teams that... my favorite team from South Africa is 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗟𝗦, and they're currently playing for this group today. And we also have 𝗦𝗘𝗏𝗏𝗡𝗏, some of the teams that already have some decent experience playing today. So this lobby 2 is going to be more competitive than the other, but we don't know if it's going to be as Group C. We did a spectate together on last week, and this week is the last day for Group B for the semi-final. Then we'll have the 16 team ready for the final, competing for the first place PMAC slot final, and also $250, and you will also receive some UC.
Yeah, that's great. And UC as well. You've been talking about UC, and there's quite a lot of skins which is going on. So it's going to be great for this player to get these UC. I've been seeing a lot of people grinding the new skin, the new glider, which is just being released on PUBG Mobile. So an opportunity for them for sure to get a hold on this UC. But the aim for this PUBG Mobile Aim Africa is, of course, the first place for the finals, which is going to be a direct invitational slot for the PUBG Mobile Aim Africa final, which is coming very soon. I believe
Yes.
it's going to be the start of September.
It's going to be the start of the mid of September, but the PMAC is ending this weekend. Is going to be the last
weekend,
day.
yeah.
On the 17th of August, it's going to be the last day. So every team that's going to get qualified, it's 14 teams from the PMAC, and 1 slot is from Kenya, and 1 slot is from eSportsfaction, the PMAA, which we are currently playing. They will be facing into the final on September in Nairobi, Kenya.
We've been lucky all this month. I'm talking about this August month. We've been like PUBG Mobile Africa have been giving us a lot, full of PUBG Mobile Aim Africa, which is being ongoing each weekend. We had like 3 weekend. Like it's gonna be the 3rd weekend that we're gonna see the final 2 games of the PMAC. And of course, during the week is the PUBG Mobile Aim Africa being kicking by, of course, eSportsfaction. So thank you for everyone who been with us from the start, from all the way from the semi-finals. We always welcome you to subscribe to our channel. So the link to go for the upcoming tournaments if you're going to be interested, because for sure we're going to have even more fun and more action for you. So the socials to go, the link to go is www.social.esportsfaction.com to not miss any action or even any opportunity to participate in our future tournament. If it's not for PUBG, it's for sure gonna be different game that you're gonna, of course, be enjoying. But you've been talking a lot about new teams, 𝗦𝗘𝗏𝗏𝗏, and I've been loving to hear more teams from different country, because I've been wanting that this lobby for the final be a mix up of a lot of different country, and of course of Mauritian good teams. We have seen, surprisingly, we have seen some teams that we were expecting for the final but couldn't make it through. I'm talking about 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 for the Group C, who didn't manage to get a hold of this lobby of Group C. It clearly shows that this PUBG Mobile Aim Africa is different. Like it can be complicated. It can be very hard for these teams. There's only the focus that's gonna be important. So buckle up your seatbelt. We are going straight away for the first game, the Sunhawk game of this semi-final Group D. The first game, 𝗦𝗘𝗘𝗏, the Sunhawk game. We've been seeing a lot of action for the Group A and a lot of action as well for the Group C. But we didn't see that much for the Group A. We're going to see tonight if it's going to be the same case for this Group D.
Yes, I really hope that because there are some teams that currently are dominating the PMAC. Example, I'm going to talk as 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗟𝗦, an old player that I know is Reverb. I think he might be Shiva is the IGL on in 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗟𝗦, and Reverb is the gunslinger in 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗟𝗦. So there might be a fight into 𝗏, as we are seeing the first fight that might start into the early game, and it is the 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗟𝗦 that's going to take this early fight against, I can't see which team is it, but the fight has already started.
It's heating up for sure, but through the window it looks like a classic game to me, like early dropping on this team. We see 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗟𝗦 getting a knock, 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗟𝗦 putting Death back to the lobby. So it's already a 1 elimination points for a team you have been mentioning from the start of his stream, 𝗦𝗘𝗘𝗏. 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗟𝗦 from South Africa, bringing the heat, giving the first blood for this first game. I believe it's a wonderful start for them. Unfortunately for OP Mafia and crew, which were definitely not lucky on this 𝗏.
Yes, and
they already lost a second player, which was trying to fall back, I guess, which got spotted. 𝗦𝗏𝗏𝗏 got a knock this time. I believe it's really not a good time for the OPX team, a team from Nigeria, and it's heating up even more. Nigeria, they want to fight for it. Magic, surrounded by the RGC team, they're all looking for it. He's holding the first floor, but with 3 players chasing him, not gonna be easy. It's Baby74 which has confirmed the kill, so it's definitely 2 elimination points, and I believe it's gonna be 3 with that points. 1 knockout. Nice start for RGC.
And the last player of this team, OPX, went to swimming because there was no place actually he could fall back. But for the first game that started, 3 players already lost and did not know that there's going to be another team into 𝗏, and it's a bit unfortunate for this team. But 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗟𝗦, the way they've been training since PMAC, they are ready for any fights. They are ready for any teams that might be landing into their drop location. And we have been a witness onto the stream that any team that's coming into the drop location is getting smoke. And the last play, I think it's going to be a bit more difficult for him to actually getting a good point to this game, except on survival. But there will be still 3 games left to get a good point for the next match.
He definitely should not be giving up. We saw a lot of time, a lot of team like trying to get one of the player to the last zone, to getting at least for playing for the placement ball. We saw a very good team from the Group A. I'm talking about Tampa getting one of the player on to the last zone, which definitely secured them a lot of points. We want to see that. We want to see this team not giving up. Like you mentioned, first game, some teams not knowing definitely knowing drop location. They were trying to
by 4x long range is using from the champion motion team and is fighting against SS squad. It is Mega. You need to tell me which squad. I think it's is from Nigeria.
Soldier Survivor. Exactly, from Nigeria.
Thank you. And the champion have some transport to be able to rotate with, but Sniper was shot from 1 HP, but could throw some smoke to get back to his teammate on the compound. And the Soldier Survivor, they know that there's a team in front of them, and they will try to still get more deeply into the zone because they're still in the board of the zone, and they already have a buggy for them and still completing a rotate near Painan. That might be another team onto the surrounding. There's many teams that are trying to rotate early and getting into the more middle into the zone because they're not trying to exactly take some fights and they're just trying to get the zone and still hope after the zone close they will still be into the zone. And we see now on the screen Team DBX, 4 men standing, still and they're rotating around Takmok, and it's close for Team 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗟𝗘𝗗𝗨. I don't know if they heard the gunfight when it was happening against RGC, but they are still rotating near the surrounding. They might have a fight against them.
During the dropping phase, we saw a lot of teams going to different drop location. The only two teams that unfortunately faced each other was at KO, but there was no team on Paradise Resort. Only one team on Bootcamp and one team on Painan. So luckily, we are seeing a lot of teams like confident on their drop location for this first game. And what I'm liking to see as well is this lobby is quite full of every team. Like we are not seeing like teams which are playing as a duo or a lot of team plays as a trio. I think there's only two teams which has joined this first game as a trio. So we're definitely gonna see a pack full of action, full of player. But on this minimap, we can see RGC this time maybe getting surrounded by a few team. So they need to be considered. I think I believe there's already one knock already from this top fort of Sandhawk. And now we can see on the minimap some team getting into Paradise Resort, seizing the occasion to get the maximum loot. So on the kill feed, we can see RGC still into the action. Kelvin from DBX getting a knock all the way from RGC. But RGC, they are definitely taking this fight from a long range perspective, and they need to run into an open field to close the gap with DBX. DBX are trying to hold the maximum. They are using the smoke. Euro getting blinded a little bit by the smoke, but he's keeping an eye on the other side. And from the other side, for Miracle getting, I believe, sent back to the lobby. The first team getting sent back to the lobby, unfortunately, is this team. But DBX fighting back. But RGC lost only one player. Roro alone against the world, against a trio team from RGC. Again, this time it's going to be hard for them. And the second team, unfortunately, to get sent back to the lobby is DBX. We already lost two teams, 4X and DBX. And I believe RGC are quite happy with the points, even if they unfortunately lost one of their players. But 7 elimination points for them for a start of a Sandhawk. It's crispy for them.
Yes, it's definitely crispy for them, as they already have 7 elims, and unfortunately they lost one player onto fighting, but they were fighting 2 teams, and the team of DBX, we saw them on screen rotating close to them. So I think RGC got the information that there was another team rotating next to them, and that's how they surround the team of DBX that got quickly sent back to the lobby, confirming 1 kill onto RGC. And we also saw 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗍𝗍𝗔𝗍 got 4 kills on eliminating the 4 miracles. And they have lost 1 player onto this fight, claiming 1 kill from 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗍𝗍 got 1 player sent back to the lobby from their teams. And now we might see another team fight on iOS eSports.
I want to see this team. I was just about to mention this team like before the stream. I want to see iOS performing. We saw them play very well this year. Will they keep the consistency for this PMAA? Because they've been building up this new roster, trying their best to perform into some local tournament out there. And now they are facing one team, but they are fighting outside of the zone. We need to do this very quick. 𝗦𝗧𝗛𝗘𝗗𝗏 managed to spot one of the player, but ITZ are fighting, or definitely wanting to take this fight in the open field, and it's iOS taking the full opportunity of this elimination point. But 𝗦𝗧𝗛𝗏 very low, a first aid definitely for them, but 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗡𝗏 with the nades can be surprising, but it's a way too low toss nade by 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗡𝗏. And this fight, I believe, is still been going on outside of the zone. We need, if iOS want to win this, they need to complete it faster than they can. 𝗦𝗧𝗛𝗏 managed to get a hold on one of their team and is unfortunately back to the lobby for 𝗦𝗦𝗏𝗏𝗏, a team from South Africa.
Yes, a nice team from South Africa, and it was pretty impressive how iOS took the fight, because if we were seeing this fight, both teams had some kind of advantage of the ridge. But unfortunately, the one player from 𝗦𝗦𝗏𝗏𝗏 that got knocked next to the tree, But now we can see a different fight on the screen. So this group is seeing
Definitely.
that
They're wanting fight. They're looking for it.
Wow, he's 1 HP onto the scene, and Survivor, he's the only one man standing. His team need to come close to him because 𝗦𝗧𝗛𝗘𝗗𝗏 lost one player, and where is his team coming to help him back? They were doing a split. There's one guy onto the ridge. Is 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏. Does 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏 has the information?
He's running back to his teammate.
Yes, he's running back to his teammate, but 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏 is trying to get into information with the Pubg, and he saw the guy. Is he gonna get knocked? Shotgun. He doesn't have any bullets, and he's with but he got knocked, and
That was very close.
It was very close, but he did not receive any cover from his teammate, but did indeed have the information. There was a guy onto the ridge and kills the team from Survivor.
With the Pubg, you get more like you can see even furthermore.
You're
right.
right.
This gave them the advantage, and even if he wanted to give him a surprise, but they want more ruthless. They are being ruthless in this run, looking for one by one of these players, and they are definitely getting around that. But 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏 managed to get 𝗦𝗏𝗏 and send it back to the lobby. I believe that RE, they are definitely not happy about it. So Vaccine, they want to get this one last player, definitely one of the few last player of SSS, and 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏 is getting a knock. Definitely only one player remaining from this Nigeria team, which at least I believe they are happy enough to having confirmed at least 2 players from the Ruthless. But I believe it was quite a we saw one of the player of Ruthless like scouting around, looking around this compound, looking for that one player, but that one player was not inside the compound. He was definitely outside behind a rock. So unfortunately, maybe some underconfident player I can say from the Ruthless League, which unfortunately make them lost one of the players. They were already into a disadvantage with three players, and now they need to continue with only 2.
Yes.
And losing 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, which I believe is playing very well with 2 elimination points for him. I believe they are they need to get a hold about this situation and try to bounce back for this game.
Yes, and the last survivor of Soldiers Survivor is swimming on next to 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. But this fight, I think 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 were trying to rotate onto the zone, did not know that the Soldier Survivor was onto the compound, and when they did crash, there was only one, so they were doing a split and trying to get the information, or even they were trying to get more loot, so that's why there was only one player onto the compound, or it might be they were doing a split to get more information. But 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 was a team that was moving together. Every 4 player was moving together. That's how they got also easy to get this kill from Soldier Survivor. And unfortunately, this last player did not have any backup from his teammate, because he indeed put 1 knock and sent 1 back to the lobby. And 𝗦𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 3 players went to crash onto 𝗦𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. But the last player who was hiding behind the rock also eliminated 1 player from 𝗦𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 and sent back to the lobby. And we can see on the kill feed that a fight is happening against 𝗦𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 Reject. 1 knock. There was only 3 players alive, and there's only 2 players surviving onto the stage. We are still seeing where is this fight is happening, because wow, this zone has
outside. I think it's outside of the zone.
Yes,
definitely.
It's outside of the zone, but we can see that there are some teams that have some pretty nice spot onto the zone. We can see Trinity Gaming onto Runes, 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 next to the compound of Runes, and also X-Force Reject is in the zone. They were not fighting outside the zone. I did not see them until now. They are already in the zone. They have a good position.
And I believe it's the first time we are seeing a Sanhok map closing on the western part for this free Sanhok game. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this team's going to play. If it might have a chance. There is like a 30% chance that it might close on Con Alpha, on the Alpha Island. So that's why we are seeing one of the team still holding their position from there. So definitely a lot of team putting all their bets on Runes, like controlling Runes, keeping an eye on this location, staying in the middle of the zone to maximize their chance to be into the last few zone. Because definitely that's what we see from this team. They play this card of keeping the play to the zone. But champion team rotating is RGC, if I'm not mistaken. His GE team passing very close from them, but Kendo could not get a hold from them, and even more from the GE team is the Gascom eSports GESX going. Is Kendo gonna spot this one? But he's getting focused from all the way from iOS right now.
And one player went straight to Trinity Gaming that got 1 kill onto the kill feed. And we might see a fight against Champion and iOS. They're pretty close with each other onto this fight. And they also got... I thought it was a knock, but it was not. He got 3/4 of the health on his, but... He's in a pretty bad situation behind a tree, but now Gascom Esports lost one player from Trinity Gaming when getting into the zone. They paused from 2 teams and actually have a nice place into the zone, and next to them is Trinity Gaming. In front of them is 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗏. The stage 4 has already been closed. We would be happy to see how the zone has been closing, and we saw the Mercenary Esports was holding on to 𝗏𝗏, and we don't know. Wow, Trinity Gaming is into the middle of runes, and he might be into a decent position because onto the surrounding, he will be able to get every 360 degree of kills, because if a team tries to crush them, it's going to be pretty difficult to push on runes. As last week, we did see some fight on runes, but we know how runes is difficult to hold when the team is actually crushing, and there's many teams that are going to take some fight now, and RG and 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗏𝗏 also is trying to get all the information onto the border before coming into the zone. They're going to fight the team 𝗦𝗏𝗏𝗏 Esports from Mauritius, and I think 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏 already have they got 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏 onto this. They're already playing with a trio. Now they're with the Geo. I don't know if they have the information, if there's one guy into the sniping tower. And iOS Esports is still putting the eye onto Champion. They are having difficulty to be able to go onto the zone, but iOS also need to move to the zone, Mega.
Yeah, iOS has been putting a lot of pressure on the Champion team. They are kindly locked down from the position for quite a while. iOS is putting a lot of pressure on a lot of teams as well. Their position is very good. They don't really need to rotate into the zone, but we saw earlier RGC rotating around Phoenix Esports MRU, which need to be very cautious because RGC, they are hungry for these points, and I believe Phoenix tried to shoot one of the RGC teams, which I believe was quite a mistake because he was trying to hold the sniper tower for quite a while, and revealing his position, RGC, of course, gonna put a lot of pressure on it. So the 𝗦𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 team, the RGC team coming all the way from the eastern part, they want to control this zone. We can see all these players looking around, checking their backs. They know there are a few players behind, and they spot that one player from the Phoenix MRU team, and they already send one of them back to the lobby. There's only 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 left in the Phoenix MRU team, and hopefully he managed to find his way into this last zone, because like we saw earlier, rune's gonna be a key point.
Wow.
But some mercenary acting like a mercenary this time, going straight forward on Baby from RGC, playing behind the rock, but the cover from the remaining team from 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 is there, and even a lot of knocks are being done on the MU team. So right now, trying to hold 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 against the Mercenary Union team. 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, which is very low.
He has just a small tree to be able to cover, but
He's gonna get spotted for sure.
Yes, 𝗦𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏.
They tried to get onto RGC team, but unfortunately they lost 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 into this fight. So RGC are losing, or definitely losing numbers, even if they are the one putting pressure on the edge of the zone. But this is playing against them. Now they need to get a revive and walk their way towards the zone, because 𝗦𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, the zone is continue being closing in the direction of runes, and a team which is already holding there is TG, is Trinity Gaming. They need to find a way to get into the zone, but where is iOS? I want to see more from this team, which is a team which is a full squad, the only team, only 2 team which is a full squad, but the fight is starting to heat up with the zone closing in stage 5. It's gonna quite deal a lot of damage We see 𝗬𝗓, the team, the motion team, trying to get a revive outside of the zone, but all these teams, they need to converge into the direction of runes. We see a few teams which is very close. We see RE right now, and two team iOS as well. That's what I wanted to see, Skydo. This team trying everything that they can to get into this rune. Like you mentioned, runes is very difficult to hold, especially if you're holding the top part of it. So there's a lot of sneaky part, there's a lot of underground into that runes. But Trinity Gaming, they want to fight for their zone. We see 𝗦𝗧𝗏 already got a knock from all the way from the other side, and they are indeed controlling this rune.
That's what I was mentioning, because when iOS, the two players came into runes, they were safe from other teams. But when the next 𝗬𝗏 came to runes, they got smoke from different teams, because they were the only, I must say, the only entertainment onto the scene, because every team is seeing here, because it's into the middle, and two players from iOS got lost, and they were trying to push.
What is free from
yes.
𝗦𝗓𝗏?
Trinity Gaming are definitely gonna have many more kills, because they are into a very decent position where they can actually look left to right to actually have the kills, and they also into a loot base. So if they have more utilities to get used, it's gonna be better. But if iOS still continue to hold it like this, it's gonna be difficult for them. They need to think on pushing the iOS team. But 𝗦𝗧𝗏, they are still defending. Either they are putting a full squad or even a 𝗬𝗏, even a solo, they're gonna still be aggressive onto here. And we are seeing them with 15 kills, with a 𝗬𝗏 still performing, and they are into the zone, fighting every team into the direction. 4 teams left, 9 players alive. This last zone is going to be very intense, Mega.
Oh yeah, 𝗦𝗧𝗏 is still into the game. It was Baby who was previously sent to the lobby, but RGC, they need to remove that attention from them, because Trinity Gaming, they are checking all the way around, and they need to wait for iOS to get into a fight with Trinity Gaming for RGC to manage to get a hold into that zone, because they will need to move, have 30 seconds before moving in. That is the opportunity maybe for RGC for a push. We see S running for it, not taking a vehicle this time, and he's definitely running for it towards runes, closing in the distance. But I believe if he take the left side, he's gonna be dealing with iOS.
He doesn't know
there's another team for sure at the other side, but he's falling back with his teammate.
He left the vehicle for his player to take, but I don't think he's gonna take the vehicle to come onto the zone with him. But
thank you, maybe they don't want to reveal, but
yes,
they are coming in.
Yes, but Trinity Gaming, they're still holding with 4 players alive. 2 𝗬𝗏, iOS, and 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏. But 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏, I must say, in my point of view, they have more advantage. Oh, 𝗦𝗧𝗏, they are trying to fight. They are not pushing, they are not waiting. And iOS got knocked off.
Yeah, RGC got one of the player, and it's Trinity Gaming who got the other player from iOS. 1 versus 4, but he's doing it as he's a good position to do a lot of kills. The DPS in hand, and one player which is very low. But it's a game well deserved chicken dinner for Trinity Gaming,
yes,
with a nice holding.
I thought it was going to happen.
Runes.
I thought the squad would.
I believe if RGC, maybe if it was 2 players, if he got 𝗦𝗧𝗏 with it as a backup, maybe it would have been a nice chicken for them.
Yes.
So there's a lot of elimination points that they managed to snag.
16 kills.
16 elimination points for them. But Trinity Gaming, it's sensational. Like it's crazy to see how they managed to hold runes. We know it's a location that is very hard to hold, but they managed. Even iOS came with a 𝗬𝗏. We saw a few 𝗬𝗏 team trying to crash into runes, but Trinity Gaming, the confident, like they did put a lot of players checking every corners, every window, like eliminating teams one by one, which were thinking about pushing them.
Yes, and this lobby remind me of when Tempo was playing, taking the fight since the first zone, as I'm saying, for 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏. They've been fighting till the drop location till the end, and when coming from to runes, it was a pretty far destination to be reached, because Trinity Gaming, they looted close to runes, so they had more opportunities to get into runes. But 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, they came from cow, so it was pretty far where they came from to this rotation. But this fight was pretty good when we saw Mercenary Union fight against X-Force Reject. Very good team from Somalia too, but both squad was with 3 players. But X-Force Reject, their aggression shows they are way more prepared onto the gunpowder. Any teams that need to take a fight with them, they're gonna suffer. Not the full squad, even lost a Geo, but any team gonna suffer with the X-Force Reject, with their gunpowder, because it's the game 1 on Sandhawk, and we are seeing things like this. And there's too much of Irangle, and the last match is gonna be Miramar for the X-Force Reject.
I definitely wanted to show even more action from iOS. We've been performing since the start of the game, but upon crushing on Runes, there was only 2 players. So I believe during their rotation, they unfortunately lost 2 of them. But
when they were coming to Runes, there were 2 players that came to Runes first, and they gave the information that, okay, it's safe, you can come to me. When the other Geo came into Runes, they got smoke from different teams getting, they were getting into the backs.
Definitely, the road to Runes was not that safe. Runes was maybe safe, but the road to there was not, unfortunately. But we definitely saw a lot of action for this team. We saw the first blood, so 2 teams dropping all the way from KO. We mentioned earlier, like all these teams, even the X4 Reject team, they tend to get the northern part of the Sandhawk as their drop location, because most of the time Sandhawk tends to close on the northern side. And for our 4th Sandhawk of these semi-finals, it's definitely the first time we see a Sandhawk game closing on the southern part of the Sandhawk game, and especially into Runes, which tends to give this tournament even more, like the hype is here, like who's going to be fighting for Runes. And it's a very well executed play, a confident play. We saw Trinity Gaming throughout the whole year. We saw them participating in our tournament, but playing like this, confident, like every team, each of their player checking the corner, checking the fight. And yeah, these fights on the highlights was quite crazy to see the confidence we saw from the Mercenary team trying to get into X4 Reject. But they lost baby into these fights because RGC this time was in trio, and I believe this was a fight that quite destabilized the plan that X4 Reject had. They had to take a little bit more time to get into the zone. They were kind of pinned down into that northern east side of the Runes. They had to get a knock on one of the Trinity Gaming player, which was checking their side to manage to do the push. But unfortunately, only 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗧 could advance forward, and they could not make it through. So yeah, I was saying 𝗦𝗘𝗏 was checking the northern part, and it was a very confident play for them. And we saw quite a few teams. I don't know why, but they were definitely getting into the way of RGC. So this fight was quite crazy. I believe this nade as well caused a lot of issue, and of course dealing with that much of Trinity Gaming, which definitely wanted that chicken dinner. So the player on the screen, 9 Skydo, 9 elimination for 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏.
He got some nice animation kill, 9 points, and in total is 11 kills plus the chicken dinner. There's more points, so the adrenaline has already started for this team, for Trinity Gaming, because the first match for this performance is on point. But for getting 9 elimination onto Runes, it was insane. And we see that he has only received 4 knockouts, and there was 5 kills, because as I was mentioning, he was into the middle onto Runes, so he can see 360 degrees onto the surrounding. There's team everywhere, and where the teams will be taking cover, they might see it because they are taking cover from their back. So I think that's how they got the most elimination kills. But we can see X-Force Reject S, it's Shiva getting 6 elimination with 990 damage, more damage than 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. It's pretty decent, 2 assists, and he is the player. It's the team that's been fighting since the beginning, even include iOS eSports. But now we see that Shiva has did a lot of knockouts, 7 knockouts onto the head-to-head. It was a very decent performance from both players. And X-Force Reject also, as I was mentioning, my favorite team from South Africa, and this type of performance is incredible. But also Trinity Gaming with this performance, this is going to be a boost onto the leaderboard. Top 4 players, 3 players from 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗘𝗗𝗏. Wow, it's 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗔𝗦 6 elimination, 𝗚𝗥𝗔𝗡𝗏 6 elimination, and 𝗦𝗏𝗏 with 9 elimination. The damage that took on the screen with 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗏, yes, 1298 damage, and also Baby 3 elimination with 2 knockouts, 631. They were playing with the team. They had a very nice synergy when they are taking the fight. We are seeing it how they are taking it with every 4 players, but communicating with each other. Even when they lost 1 player, they continue with a trio. They lost another player, they still continue with a duo. They were playing with the synergy. That's how we're seeing.
They took a lot of risks as well. We saw them pushing as a 2 player, and 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗏 being like the entry fragger, taking everything for his team. Even we saw 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗏 giving the cover from the back. But definitely they did a lot. They did contribute a lot for this game. I believe they were quite satisfied with the second place. It was definitely difficult for them to fight a 4v2, even if they had even if they had a little bit of advantage, it was going to be difficult to fight a 4v2. But definitely what a game. And again, 𝗦𝗘𝗏𝗏𝗏.
Yes.
Longest skill.
I knew
3-4-3.
3-4-3 on Sanhok. We don't usually see this type of longest skill, because it's Sanhok is the smallest map in esports, and the longest skill we will see in those 3 games that there will be for 𝗚𝗥𝗔𝗡𝗏 and Miramar, if the longest skill is gonna pass 343. And we can see the damage also has been pretty good onto this match stats for Sanhok. 54 elimination, 45 knockouts. A lot of players also died from the zone, because the zone damage also, it's pretty heavy when it hits stage 3, I might say 4, because if you don't have any health with you, it's gonna be difficult. And we saw the other time that there was a player from Donkey. He had 16 first aid when he took a flight onto Sanhok, and he was healing outside the zone, and he was able to get onto the zone, but unfortunately lost the chicken dinner, but still came second, thankfully, with the first aid he had. Top 4 teams, 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗔𝗏𝗏. Wow, mega. It's the first time I saw this type of damage into the competition of PMMA.
Definitely killing machine team all the way, like you mentioned, 𝗦𝗘𝗏𝗏𝗏, all the way from the start. They've been fighting. They've been having a lot of team crashing on them, and each time, unfortunately, losing one by one of their player. We saw them losing Baby on the mercenary team, which pushed them in the very far end of this game. And
yes,
3,000 is the first time I see this for this group D.
That's a decent water damage. And also, we didn't have the opportunity to see eSports play onto this match of 𝗚𝗥𝗔𝗡𝗏. They are also a very good team that I know them from a long time. iOS eSports coming the 3rd team, 6 kills. Nice play also, you were mentioning from the start, Mega, that this team is putting the work onto from a previous tournament that was playing in eSportsfaction. Even Trinity Gaming, both teams are rising from Mauritius, getting the experience from eSportsfaction. And onto the leaderboard, 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗏𝗏𝗏 take the lead with 22 points because of the elimination, 16 kills and 6 placement. And coming second with Trinity Gaming, 21 points, 11 elimination, 10 kills. iOS, wow, decent performance, coming 3rd place onto the leaderboard. eSports, the 4th place, Mercenary Union, 5th place, 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗏𝗏𝗏, 6th place, and we have other teams also. Ruthless Esports, they need to come back because they have only received 3 elimination points. We saw them taking a fight against Soldier Survivor, which both teams has 3 points in together. Like there's a lot. There's 5 teams, Mega, that has 3 points, and there's 3 match left. So all they need to still get some kill points and the survival points to be able to compete onto the top 4. Because we are seeing 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗔𝗏𝗏, Trinity Gaming, and I must say also iOS eSports. They are the only teams that has 2-digit points. Now
I want to see more from original Black Panthers. We saw them from the start of the game, unfortunately crashing on the same drop location of X4 Rejects, the only team, the first team you're seeing from the semi-final stage from Gabon. So I've been mentioning throughout the whole semi-final, I want a mix up of all these African teams into this final. Not only South Africans, not only Somalians. We already have, I believe, 2 or 3 South African teams, 2 teams of Somalia, 1 team from Mauritania. We've been seeing even more. Today we're gonna see even more team. We have also a team from Madagascar, which I'm very hyped for. But definitely we are going straight away, ladies and gentlemen, for the second game of tonight for this PUBG Mobile Aim Africa, the day 8, the semi-final, the Group D, the second game. So as a reminder, both teams are fighting for a best of 4, of course, of tonight. We already saw 1 game completing, and we have 3 more games, 2 Erangel map and 1 Lost Miramar map. So these teams are fighting for a slot for the final stage. We already have 12 teams already been sitting and waiting for the finals to come, which is going to be, of course, next Tuesday and next Thursday and Friday, which is going to be a 2-day final event. So they are definitely fighting for a lot of prize, which are waiting for them. A total prize pool of $500, where the first player is going to get 250, the second one 150, the third one going to get 50, and the MVP for the finals, of course, 50, and of course a lot of UC. But the aim, Skydo, is the first place for this final, the PUBG Mobile Africa Cup invitational slot, which is going to give them a straight entry into the PMAC finals.
Yes, indeed, every team is going to be fighting for this because it's the final slot for the PMAC. And we have 2 teams onto 𝗦𝗧𝗛𝗚 might fight, or they're just going to loot and go onto the rotation. We can see 𝗦𝗬𝗠𝗘 also in Novo. And there's 4 teams into the next spot to the bridge. Also Trinity Gaming onto Primos, Soldier Survivor onto Ferry Player, looting very peacefully. No team on
Pochinki.
Yes.
Team on Kameshki, which we don't usually see. We only see I believe RF, the Rage Furry team from the Mauritian team, that unfortunately only took, I believe, their retirement, dropping into that location. But definitely, it's a very different job location we are seeing for this group. For the first game of Erangel, we've been waiting for this. After this Sanho game, definitely gonna be a full stack of action game. I'm forecasting maybe on the 3rd zone. I'm not talking about the 4th zone, but the 3rd zone is going to get hot for this team. And will we see a fight into 𝗦𝗧𝗛𝗚? We saw that, I believe, on the Group B. And we usually see 2 teams dropping into 𝗦𝗧𝗛𝗚, but they definitely not they don't take early fight because it's very hard to fight in 𝗦𝗧𝗛𝗚. There's way too many houses. No one will pick each other. Everyone will focus on their looting. But will we see more fight to 𝗦𝗧𝗛𝗚? Because we saw also like 4 teams on the military island, 2 very close to Novo and 2 around the military base. So it's a very different drop location. Maybe this player has been watching the previous stream, because I believe for all of this Erangel map that we saw for the previous games, and if I'm not mistaken, is the 7 Erangel of this tournament. So Mercenary already on the glider, gliding his way into the finals, maybe trying everything, like every option for them might work. I'm talking about different options that did work for a lot of teams. Let me talk about one team particularly. I'm talking about Vibes eSports from the Group A, which managed to qualify without any chicken dinner. So chicken dinner doesn't really matter if we keep the consistency of getting into the top 4, top 5, or even top 3, even with a few elimination pools. I'm talking about 5, but definitely let's see how this Erangel gonna be for this team.
Yes, and Gas Esports, they already got the vehicles onto 𝗦𝗧𝗛𝗚. They are not rotating early. They're just waiting for the opportunity. Now we can see a fight. Team DBX
Hello there and bye-bye.
Okay,
Bye.
they're just passing by. Yes, they're just saying hello.
Hello.
Bye.
We don't
and-
want to fight. We don't have anything. We can see Kelvin on the screen, but doesn't even have a helmet right now. So definitely we don't. Like a lot of teams will less likely want to fight. It's more about securing some vehicles because we saw many games about vehicles give that advantage. It's the meta right now. Like definitely, if you tell me if we talk about like 3 years ago, vehicle were not really into that meta because there was a bit less than now. So definitely, it's a better strategy to get 4, not even 2, not even 1, 4 vehicles for
That's
them,
true.
using that as a cover, using that as a rotation factor, helping them to get into the zone. But the Floss blood is being slain and is being betrayed, going on into a rotation that is going on these two teams. 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗚𝗘 having one of the player Yakuza who has been knocked, but
His teammates are still looting. They need to throw some smoke to be able to get the revive because
Obviously,
they could
like-
still throw some smoke onto the teammates to get the revive, but 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗚𝗘 are more confident onto looting
I
because
think it was just a drive-by. I believe it was just
Yes,
a drive-by, and unfortunately, SSS team, the Nigeria team, could not revive that one player, which unfortunately got knocked. It was definitely during a rotation, and SSS team, they need to try to recalculate a little bit their rotation for this. But this is what I was mentioning. The team are scattered into very different location onto this map. There's no team on Pochinki, which usually teams avoid to rotate. So they try to rotate a different place, but unlikely, they're supposed not to having a team in that location. They unluckily get into this team. So definitely something to consider during rotation.
and original Black Panther looting.
I want to see more from the Gabon team. I said that before, but that's starting again. I want to see this team
giving us
the play.
Yeah.
I want you into the final, please. If we have some Gabon representative like France into the chat, please hype for this team. They need you. They need your support. And if they have fans, the original Black Panthers, they need those fans. Like they need you to support them. So hopefully we see one of the 4 this team like getting a chicken for tonight.
No team has yet been sent back to the lobby. Only one team did not join onto this this room for 𝗦𝗏𝗏𝗏, and we've been seeing only 1 or 2 players getting sent back to lobby. But fights, when the zone's gonna be closing, fights gonna be more, and we can see a player from Champions coming very close to the teams of 𝗦𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. It's a sniper passing.
It's a chase. The sniper is trying to fall back with his team. No, he's rotating all the way because we see a few players. We see Hope going to Geo
And
containers.
𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, also, they are very close to the petrol station. They are passing to the bridge. So the player from Champion, he might get knocked because there's 2 team actually onto his target, and 𝗦𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 are also crossing the bridge on 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏 because they already did fight. They already have been looting 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, and they are well equipped to be fighting against other teams, and they will be fighting maybe for the 4 Miracles, and they also gas eSports onto the surrounding of 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏 that might hear the bullets and also come for third party.
Ooh, this time RGC just as a trio.
Oh,
Yep.
missing reverb from the purest match onto Sunhawk into
Ooh la
this
la.
game, and he's finding the first knock. Is 1 HP. Shiva puts the effort to be able to knock this player from 4 Miracle, but he was 1 HP, and they already heard that a player is rotating onto the ridge. I don't think they're gonna peek for 𝗦𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 again because they are an aggressive team. Even 1 knock, they might crush onto the compound and actually fight this team because they are playing with a trio, but still they are not afraid of taking a fight. That's what I'll be mentioning to Sandhawk. Even when they were a full squad trio, Geo, they are always aggressive. And even when they need to fight, they need to fight. They are not like, okay, we need to get back.
We saw
need
a
to pass
team, we
them
need to
away.
pull back. We need to look for a different location. We wanted that compound, but there's a player. So we are trying. That's why we want to see. But on the kill feed, iOS getting a little bit into some trouble.
Wow.
And it's going on a bridge camping.
Yes, it's 𝗦𝗧𝗛𝗃𝗏 and iOS. We saw 𝗦𝗧𝗃𝗏𝗃. He was passing the bridge when Team DBX was also on the surrounding. And
but iOS was already to the southern part of Military Island. They wanted to quick rotate, but didn't work well for them.
But 𝗦𝗧𝗃𝗃𝗏 is also... Oh, Nomi, he got knocked from the player from 𝗦𝗧𝗃𝗃𝗏. I don't think he's going to get the revive because two of the players have already...
But decided to say, okay, this way is blocked, guys. Let's go to the other
And we
side.
can see also the kill field that 𝗦𝗧𝗃𝗃𝗏 knocked one player onto... 𝗦𝗧𝗃𝗃𝗏, but I think he's going to get the revive. They are not trying to push onto the ridge, the 𝗦𝗧𝗃𝗏𝗏s. They are playing a bit more passive because they're holding also a very good compound that they don't need to rush for only one knockout.
Things are going crazy here.
DBX, Kelvin onto a very good position onto the tower. He might spot Ice onto the tower, but Nagato also trying to take a different angle onto this fight for DBX. We can still see on the kill feed that 𝗦𝗧𝗃𝗃𝗏 still fighting iOS eSports, but now we are seeing Kelvin trying to put the first aid. They already have seen him onto and they're trying to rotate to get a better position because Kelvin also, he's in a very good position, but for his position, he should not have... Oh, what a shot! What a shot! Okay, Yakuza, wow.
So definitely it's something to consider. We need to maybe turn around for this fight because they wanted to take that one player
You're right.
from DB.
Exactly. They needed to take that one guy off to be able to get a very better fight because this player was the off-angle player and the most irritating from the skill because...
They don't want to risk it.
Yeah, they don't want to risk it.
Definitely. On the second game, we know it's a best of 4. We don't want to risk it.
They
know it's a 3v3. We need to push back again. We don't have that information on the remaining team.
But
maybe
Yakuza though, it was what a aim because they were driving to be able to keep a free X onto Kelvin getting knocked from the tower. So it's this match has been pretty interesting on the start of the match, but we are gonna go deeper because the zone is still stage 2 and is gonna get closer onto the stage 4 and it's gonna be pretty hectic onto the surrounding of Erangel.
I wonder where is Trinity Gaming. We saw them on Primox outside of this first zone, taking a lot of time to consider any rotation. Maybe we can see on the score feed that they look quite low, maybe driving all the way outside of the zone. So definitely a different game for Trinity. Maybe we're going to aim for the same strategy, looking like betting on a better place into the zone, but for a miracle, spotting all BP. The Gabon team getting once again into some trouble. I hope not. I want to see the OBP team like taking matters into their hands, pushing the 4 Miracle team, which clearly looks like playing passively, but they are getting a sort of the backstab from the champion team right now, and unfortunately we're getting focus from another team, and even 4 Miracle managed to snatch these elimination points.
We got 2 knockouts onto the Black Panthers. It's going to be a very difficult situation as there's 2 teams fighting to them. It's a champion and 4 Miracles. But champions are also not pushing. They lost 1 player onto the compound and still managed to get the revive that 4 Miracle put the knock. But now they're playing with 3 players. And it was a very good split that they were doing. But champions was seeing everything from a further direction onto Yashnaya. They were not looting Yashnaya. They looted onto the surrounding of Geogopol. But they came to Yashnaya just when passing from the bridge, where there was also X4 Reject that was onto this area, but we don't see them anymore that's taking a fight. Maybe because of 4 Miracle was still staying on the compound. They were trying to get, okay, this team is going to play like this. We're not going to risk our players to crush this compound. We're going to try to look for different teams to attack, like maybe try to engage into a third party. And champions currently just resting onto 𝗦𝗧𝗏, even looting, and Team DBX also resting on the farm, even have the hovercraft ready to be able, because these vehicles, any team that see it onto the first zone, they will try to destroy it, because onto the last game, this vehicle is a very deadly weapon. It is a very deadly weapon that can be used. Now the zone is going to be closing for the stage 3. Is it going to be a hard shift onto this map? And it went pretty close to Shelter. We've been seeing some
similar,
Shelter.
yes. Mention Shelter, the trophy room, the trophy warehouse, and hopefully we see only 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏, which holding that close position one, and even the SSS team, the Soldier Survivor as well, in a very good position.
Yes, we have not been hearing from 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏 Union. They are playing more passive. I think it's very good because they have lost onto the first match of 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. They died early from 𝗦𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. I'm not saying early, but they did die without enough elimination points to be able to compete.
Things are heating up right now here for the OBP, even for the 4 a.m. because RGC decided to show themselves into that party and managed to get a few elimination points, a few knock at least from the 4 a.m. team. One knock so far in 4 a.m. because RGC were lurking around, looking for a fight, and definitely something to consider, giving an opportunity. Maybe we saw as well the OBP team, the first team, a team already, the first team for this lobby getting sent back to the lobby, and on the kill film we can see even more. RGC has maybe crashed into the 4 a.m. team because we have seen earlier RGC, they wanted to fight, they wanted to look for this team, they are lurking around for this team, committing maybe some mistake, and I believe this fight, yep, they are definitely passing very close to the 4 a.m. So definitely look at this formation for this crash. Definitely 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏 is quite far from the team, but Ravee trying everything with the S12K, and it's not enough. S is giving one by one a taste of his S12K, and definitely for Miracles they need to run for their life because it's 𝗦𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 chasing them right now.
Wow, I'm just going to mention it because I did not see 𝗦𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 onto the area. So what happened when the zone closes? They knew that 4 was holding onto this compound, and they are not into the compound. So they made a rotation to rotate back onto this team because they know they are not in the zone. They need to go to get out onto the compound to make the rotation to go into the next new zone, and that's what I think happened. That 𝗦𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 fall back when to 4 Miracles teams, and there was only a duo holding still the compound, and 2 players already left the compound. I think that might happen for 𝗦𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, and they are still. Wow.
They are like lurking around. They look like some crazy devil looking for these elimination points, looking for these points. They are being pinned down, and 𝗦𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 is going for it in this compound, looking for this angle. He knows, he definitely can hear them trying to hide around, and S trying to hold around, but baby got a knock, but 𝗦𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 managed to get one of the 4 a.m. Definitely only 2 4 a.m. player remaining. Only one, which is very low. Seek up. Need to get a hold on a healing, but a nade confirming this elimination points. Rejects getting even more points for this lobby as well. 𝗦𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 as in trio. They definitely playing this aggressive play. You mentioned it before the start of the stream. Is a team, but we're gonna see maybe dominating this lobby, and even as a trio, they are showing that they are confident into their plays. Like those push 𝗦𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, we don't see here this kind of push into Mauritius. So something for these Mauritian teams watching us, considering to take a hold of me, to learn from this crazy guy, because they definitely have that strategy into their minds. We saw even 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 from RGC, like they know where to hold, which player need to be at the backside, and they are not done yet. And this time we are going into the champion team, but they lost one of the player for sure during a rotation, but definitely gonna get a quick revive from 𝗦𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏.
Will they try to push onto this angle because they might
They
have?
have a few knocks, so definitely they need to consider getting a revive before attempting something. But if unfortunately, if Def had a vehicle, I believe he could have go for the quick flush out elimination and falling back to his team. But definitely Champion playing the safe card right now.
Yes, and the zone is also on stage 4.
They have triggered a little bit on RGC, and I believe the next decision for RGC is gonna push that team, which knocked them.
Yes, and
sure.
the zone shifted from is not on shelter. It's gonna be closing, I think, mostly on the open. There's only two compound.
Forest vote to consider in this middle of the zone, so definitely a lot of hiding location for them, or ambush location. Definitely a lot of teams are not gonna be liking to go there. There's a compound that Trinity Gaming is holding right now, but RGC still lurking their way, going.
They're trying to get every information in any direction to be sure when they will be in the zone. Okay, this place we're gonna be safe. There's team here, there's team there, so we must be cautious about the surrounding of here. So RGC, they're just getting any information that they need, and we are seeing that Mercury also Union, they are behind. They are not into a very decent position. They were in the nice position onto the zone. But
that's gonna be very interesting for Phoenix to take this type on GES. They are definitely getting an upper hand of this team, but we can see like a lot of teams trying to run here and there, looking for a place for a fight. We see some core fights going on between kind of Champion, who's gonna definitely be cautious because there's a lot of attention that is being brought on them. So he's fall back with his team. Only Shaq as a cover, which is not into that zone. So we will definitely need to consider to move, to change their location. We've been seeing a lot of team right now not knowing where to run, where to hide, losing one by one of their player.
What are they doing?
RGC is even throwing nade from the vehicle. They wanted to show that, okay, we are coming, here are the fireworks. They are definitely being like the werewolf of this lobby, creating tension, creating pressure on those teams. So definitely a lot of points are in front of RGC this time. 𝗦𝗧𝗦𝗘 been throwing that nade on point 2. Player already sent back to the lobby in the Champion team. 2 left. Definitely a Molly that's gonna be sealing their fate on that front door. They definitely have nowhere to run. The nades are coming through. They are being thrown, but not straight into the shutter. Maybe Baby gonna send it straight into the front door, and the front door definitely is done so right now. So Def and Sniper's outside. Hello there, but 𝗦𝗧𝗦𝗘 is here. Managed to soar and eliminate Baby out of this game. So definitely a back to lobby, unfortunately, for the Champion team. RGC, Baby, 𝗦𝗧𝗦𝗘. Great synergy between those two players. They are definitely showing us some very confident plays. Oh my God.
And I was mentioning that 𝗦𝗦𝗔𝗟𝗦, they were passing every direction to get the information needed to the fight, and that's how we saw that they came back to the shack. It was not inside the zone for the stage 5, but stage 4 it shifted onto the shack.
That reaction time they have when they get shot at.
Wow, I'm very like that's why I mentioned my favorite team from South Africa. That's how they are playing. Wow, and this lobby for the final, Mega, I'm just saying, it's gonna be insane. It's gonna be something that we're gonna remember. It's gonna be history for the team, for African to be remember what's gonna happen, because this time of this lobby, how they are playing. Even guys from eSports, the last player is still, the zone is closing. They need to get into the zone, and what? Okay, I thought he was gonna get 𝗦𝗏𝗏 got sent back to the lobby with 2 eliminations. It was very close, but Reject, they're still taking the fight needed. The second time they will be fighting DBX eSports, who were holding the compound earlier, and they're still with 15 elimination, playing with a trio. What are they doing? What are they doing? Because they're playing with a trio, and they're like, okay, we need to kill everyone into this lobby.
They're fighting everyone. Like, they're definitely playing some, like, they're taking the risks, and it's working for them. We saw them rotating. We saw them throwing nades out of their vehicles. They are very skilled, and 𝗦𝗧𝗦𝗘 spot one of the SSS team, and look at Baby jumping around, not even considering from the team which can be around them. They know how to position themselves. They know where to stop. They know where to land. They know where to hold. They all definitely they know this map. They know everyone. They know everything. Crazy.
They just made everything, every team scared onto this lobby. He's running after his vehicle, 𝗦𝗧𝗦𝗛, trying to get his vehicle outside the zone, still looking for more elimination. 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗚𝗘, still hungry for more kills. 16 elimination, still looking for more. 12 players alive, 6 teams alive.
And how's 𝗦𝗧𝗦𝗘 can drive in this kind of lobby and not getting...
He found the last player for Soldier Survivor. Unfortunately, with 4 elimination, got sent back to the lobby at 6th position. Are they gonna try to push the vehicle respawn? I don't think it's inside the zone, or is it? Is inside the zone, but they still have a decent position to play because 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏 are also pushing towards the zone, and 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏, they already have the surround men. As I mentioned, they already have the surround men that they need. That's why every team's having difficulty to enter the zone. 2 teams alive. 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏 with 18 points. 2 players from 𝗦𝗧𝗏 throwing the nades. 𝗦𝗧𝗏.
I'm not wanting to be 𝗦𝗧𝗏 players right now. They all definitely need to hide for the maximum. The RGC surrounding them is gonna be very difficult for them to hold this position. But 𝗦𝗧𝗏 maybe he doesn't get
he knocked his teammate, baby.
And no opportunity for 𝗦𝗧𝗏 for this. It's a very nice opportunity for them to take. 𝗦𝗧𝗏, come on, 𝗦𝗧𝗏, come on. There's only 𝗦𝗧𝗏 to deal with. It's a 2v1 situation. Come on, guys. Come on, put a stop. We saw TG managed to put a stop on this killing spree RGC, and now your 2-player Nagato 𝗦𝗧𝗏. Come on, Mauritius versus South Africa. 𝗦𝗧𝗏 is trying his best to rotate, but 𝗦𝗧𝗏 taking the vehicle, trying for it. Was it a wise decision for them? But 𝗦𝗧𝗏, what a play! But it was a nice push from 𝗦𝗧𝗏.
It was a very nice push. Yes, from 𝗦𝗧𝗏.
But crazy RGC X4 rejects, I believe, with maybe, I don't know, definitely a lot of elimination points.
Yes,
I know.
With a trio, Omega. With a trio, they were playing with. They were nearly to get 20 elimination points. They got 18, but it was a nice push from 𝗦𝗧𝗏 though.
Yeah,
he put one guy into the vehicle trying to get the surrounding of 𝗦𝗧𝗏, and 1 player doing the walk to be able to get the player from X-Force
and
reject.
that mistake as well. We saw that self-nominate from one of the teammates gave them, of course, an opportunity to change a 3v2 to a 2v1 situation. But I know it's nearly 8 p.m. for South African, but have you eaten? Because you are definitely eating this lobby with a lot of elimination points.
Yes.
I can't wait to see this match ranking, to see how much they managed to get a hold on. And again, I believe these highlights will be full of RGC. They were once again on this map as well. Into every fight, we saw them at the start of the game fighting 4 a.m. Chasing 4 a.m. They spot them. You mentioned they spot them. They knew that 4 a.m. was stuck, that they needed to rotate out from the zone. Like they are like, they definitely are like werewolves chasing sheep into this lobby.
What this team is gonna do for the next 2 match, because it's only the 2 match has started and they left us speechless for both match playing like this.
Definitely a lobby I wouldn't want to be part of. Like if a team like from the group C, group A, group B, like watching this, they are like definitely, oh, luckily I'm not into this group D, because it's unfortunately penalizing a lot of very good team. I'm talking about TG, iOS, like team that gave a good performance into the first game, but definitely they need to deal with a few teams, but as well a clean sweep team, a team which definitely looks very hungry for elimination points.
I'm just waiting. I'm just impatient for the final, Omega, because this is how it's gonna be. I'm just impatient to see it, because It's 𝗦𝗧𝗛𝗘𝗗𝗏 Reject.
Who's gonna be the kryptonite for RGC? You're talking about who's gonna pierce into RGC strategy.
Something I must mention, I do see the video on TikTok on the social media that they do speak, they do post TeamSpeak. Do post this TeamSpeak and do tag us, eSportsfaction and Mega and 𝗦𝗘𝗏𝗏 onto it, because we just want to see the communication that you are doing for the work that you've been putting onto the PMAA. What's a play coming from 𝗦𝗧𝗛𝗏 Reject, playing with a trio and getting, wow, even now they had 15 elimination kills. They were even hungry, and onto taking all this fight, not even they managed to get one. Yes, they were knocked from different teams, but they managed to get a revive. They managed to play together till the end, and only at the end there were a miscommunication where a nade was thrown from Shiva, from his teammate, trying to crash onto the vehicles respawn. But 𝗦𝗧𝗛𝗏 also was holding this place when they were fighting against champion onto the shack. They were still holding the vehicle respawn. But 𝗦𝗧𝗛𝗏 also was very nice calculated how they pushed the last player for 𝗦𝗧𝗛𝗏 Reject.
I'm definitely trying to get into the body of 𝗦𝗧𝗛𝗏 during this last fight. They were like, okay, they are coming for us. What do we do? And they saw that mistake, and I'm quite happy to see them like seizing the opportunity from that mistake to get a hold on that chicken dinner, even if 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏 maybe hasn't managed to get a lot of elimination points. But the placement points are definitely here, because definitely into that overall ranking we will see that gap into elimination points.
A low gap,
because RGC definitely eating all of these elimination points available into this map. So those teams will definitely, they have no choice. They need to either find that mistake, that kryptonite that
is happening.
Looking for RGC, getting them out of that lobby at early stage, which is gonna be definitely very hard, or playing for placement and praying not to get approached from RGC.
Because any team also is playing for placement, they're getting smoke from the 𝗦𝗧𝗛𝗏 Reject when they want to push, because they are analyzing every surrounding, because they would be able to push this. They would be able to push this first, the vehicle respawn,
wow.
But they
Yakuza.
choose.
Wow.
Yes, they choose to push it the last moment when there was only this team alive. They know when to push, where to push, and how to push it. The communication, the synergy of this team make it incredible for this play, and I very like it how they are performing. This is a team that is performing for Africa and need to be put onto bigger spotlight, onto bigger work, onto the global plays. This is where we got the opportunity from Africa, because it's been a lot of time that they have not seen some players, some teams from Africa performing like this. And when they will be seeing it, they will say, okay, if there will be one team that's going to be representing, might be 𝗦𝗧𝗛𝗏 Reject, because in this group stage, just showing a performance like this, we've been spectating A, B, C, D. I'm saying this team also have shown a very decent performance, but how I'm seeing this team playing the synergy, wow, speechless.
Definitely some crazy game. We saw Yakuza from 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏 team. What a nice big managed to knock Baby and making this into a 2v1, because with that mistake from RGC with that nade, that game swapped from a 3v2 to a 2v2. But what I'm very happy to see is that 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏 they decided to push onto that last player instead of a lot of team. I would say a lot of motion team would have considered to hold that compound. Like they know it's like they have the compound. He needs to come on me. Like he needs to come into my direction. So definitely they decided to push. So they sent Yakuza onto the scout, and definitely to get that final player. But it would have been surprising to see 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏 manage to clutch this.
Even that happened, that they lost this opportunity to get the chicken dinner. I think they were not even angry about it, because he have received 18 elimination with coming second onto the 𝗚𝗥𝗔𝗡, and even for the 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏 match they came second. Now the 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗡𝗏𝗏 chicken team, 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏 coming with 5 elimination points and 10 placement points for this match. I don't really recall how much points they did receive from the 𝗦𝗏𝗏𝗏 game, but there's two games that's going to be necessary too, because there's many teams also staying consistent. Unfortunately, we did not see more teams getting very kills like 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗏𝗏𝗏, but 𝗦𝗧𝗏 managing to get 5 kills. Second time we were seeing 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗏𝗏𝗏 Shiva 8 elimination points, and we're gonna see a different type of damage when they're gonna pass the top 4 teams, because now we can see Shiva with 1642 damage, 12 knockouts, what, and 8 elimination that he has received. Playing with a trio, how can Mega did Ox? What did you guys eat before playing the PMAA?
Or have you eaten? Because they look definitely very hungry. You were mentioning how many elimination points did 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏 manage to get. They got only 1 point. So definitely some points to consider. So let's see this head-to-head. Same team, 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏, Shiva, maybe 3
Yes, it's
3 werewolf.
It's the same. I think because even for the top 4 players, we see 3 players on 𝗦𝗏𝗏𝗏, same squad from the 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, and only 1 player from Trinity Gaming was onto the top 4 players. And now head to head, we can see 2 players from 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. Already mentioned Shiva. Now we're gonna see 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏's stats: 6 elimination, 912 damage, 4 assists, and 2 knockouts. He has only 2 knockouts, found 4 elimination to get the 6 kills together. But they've been playing very, very good, these teams, and we're gonna see the next stats coming, the top 4 players, and it's top 3 again from the 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. The only 3 players who were playing. If the 4th player was playing this match, maybe it would have been top 4 players, and it would be like 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, the whole squad.
It's 3 player, the only 3 player from RGC, and the 𝗦𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 was the player who eliminated the last player of the 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏.
Yes.
So that's why he got top 4. So if I believe there was 4 player into RGC, it's gonna be definitely a full top 4 player from the RGC team. But like we've been mentioning, okay, this time we see a longer skill, rather from the different 𝗚𝗥𝗔𝗡 map that we have been seeing a lot of damage. We see 11,000 damage, and I believe a lot of them coming from the RGC teams as well, and considering assist as well. But we like you mentioned, like you noticed as well, we didn't see one team which hasn't joined this lobby or this second game. Hopefully we see.
Yes, there was only 15 teams onto this, and the longest kill onto 𝗦𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 was more than this 𝗚𝗥𝗔𝗡𝗏, I think by 15 or 10, but still 2 airdrop has been looted onto the 𝗚𝗥𝗔𝗡𝗏, more of royables on 133. Damage is way more than the 𝗦𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 knockout. There was 50 knockouts and 53 eliminations. 5 players have been eliminated from the zone, and it was a match that it keep us like we need to drink water, because how we were communicating onto the commentary scene, it was always on point, because there was action on action and on action. Different team was taking a fight, and also the team 𝗦𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, we can see 4th position getting 6 kill together. They need to still perform goods, because this team have potential to get onto the top 4.
Crazy. The only team, but the team which were not present was Ruthless eSports. Hopefully we see them back again. But 19 elimination record breaker for sure for this semi-final with 25 points. 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 standing strong at the 1st place, and 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 at the 2nd place with 5 elimination points. Still some good points for them to keep on the grind. 15 points in total, and OP Mafia crew with 10 points as well, and we definitely can get a glimpse of the overall ranking to the left. Guys, kind of 47 X4 region, definitely holding the first position. But who's gonna be the remaining team? But fight has already been started here on this second Erangel map. We see Ice, unfortunately, the Czech container team getting it a little bit into some heating situation versus iOS.
𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗟𝗦 is in second position and iOS is in third position. So those teams are currently fighting, and iOS already lost. 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗟𝗦 already lost one player and trying to need to rotate to the zone. iOS, we saw those teams looting near the military base, and the zone, I'm not saying is exactly the same, but still close to 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗟𝗦 and 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗚 as we saw. So 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗟𝗦, they loot onto 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗚, but they did not go to 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗚 this time, where they are onto this map.
I saw 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗟𝗦 into the military base. iOS, quite same location. We look a little bit split. SSS this time on Ferry Pier, and 4am decided to take Pochinki. Maybe they knew there was no team on the last time, but iOS Stifler getting spotted now by 𝗦𝗘𝗠𝗜. A solo rush.
Mega, just to mention, 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗟𝗦 did not join this match. We can see there's 15 team. Ruthless eSports did not join the first match of Erangel. They did join onto this match, but 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗟𝗦, they said, I think it's done.
Let's take a break.
Let's take a break.
Let's watch them.
We need to have dinner. We need to have dinner.
Let's them fight between each other. So definitely, the remaining team they definitely don't know. They maybe know because they went to the lobby. They saw the game start and they were like checking, scrolling to. They said no RGC. So time for them to do the plays. Maybe. This team will take matters into their hands. We want to see these teams like iOS, different team maybe taking this opportunity for them to look for these elimination points. I'm talking about Saint eSports, Soldier Survivor. All these teams has a chance. We saw DBX into the first game, giving some quite of very nice. Even on the second game, we played very well. I want to see all these teams. Ruthless eSports, like you mentioned, came back. They were absent during the second game, so they also have points to.
Yes, they lost one match. Exactly, they lost one match to be able to regain some points that they missed into the Sandhawk, because Sandhawk also, they got into the fight with Soldier Survivor, which they lost 2 players and they were unable to perform into the last zone. But they lost the second match. I mean, they did not join. They still need to get more points onto those maps with Elimination and Survivor, because 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗟𝗦 is not into this lobby. I don't know if the team have the information that it's not into this lobby. So enjoy, fight. There's not going to be third party from a team that has been destroying the first lobby and the second match.
There's not going to be some werewolf lurking around for these sheep. So yeah, definitely some opportunity for them to play more even aggressively, or trying the RGC tactic, like looking for that plays. I want to see more from Immortals as well. They didn't have a nice first game. Even Mercenary as well. Mercenary, like we saw, they are playing for that best place into the zone. We saw them near shelter during the zone closing in, but they unfortunately, during the chaos that was going on around, they could not hold their position. So this time, maybe we're gonna see them playing even a better, more aggressive game. But I want to see a different Erangel. For sure, we're gonna get a different Erangel.
We're gonna get a different
and especially from I want to see Ruthless eSports getting some points. Original Black Panthers, maybe it's fair time for them to get points as well. We are still into the third game. There's 2 more games, and definitely it's a game. It's a fight for the second, the third, and the fourth place. If, of course, RGC doesn't come for the last game. Which is going to be an opportunity for a lot of teams to get a hold for the first place, which I definitely don't think so. But must be an issue for them, because also we need to let everyone know that it's not allowed as well to not. It's a no-show for definitely a team not to joining a lobby. There should be a good reason for that as well. So hopefully we see a full 16 team for the next for the lost Miramar game, because definitely when I mentioned during the second game that I was very happy to see a lobby full with 60, at least over 60 players, and definitely I jinxed it because the next few games we've been seeing only 15 teams. But let's see, Skydo. Definitely, what team are you watching for? I'm still want to see iOS putting the show here. I'm seeing a different iOS. Definitely. They got very unlucky during a rotation, like on the last game. They got breach camp. They lost 2 of their players. Maybe they were not considering that there are gonna be some breach camping, but for sure it's gonna happen. You definitely don't know when it's gonna happen, but it did happen on them. They lost 2 players. They already lost the numbers into their team. But I want to see more from iOS. I want to see Trinity. Like Trinity were definitely not really existent into that second game. They took a late rotation. They dropped into Primos, and this time they decided to go to play the 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗧𝗏 card instead. Like they already tested the southern part, now they are testing the northern part. So definitely some teams changing location.
But Trinity Gaming does have the information that 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 goes into 𝗦𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, but when they did not see them go to the onto the lobby, I think that's why they dropped to 𝗦𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, because they already know that it was the only squad that was going to 𝗦𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. But we might be seeing a fight against DBX. Already lost 1 player from Phoenix Esports and Mario. Which team I'm currently expecting to perform good into this lobby? There's 3 teams I'm gonna mention: Mercenary Union, Saint Esports, and also I'm gonna go with 𝗦𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. But they're already in the top 4. But if they don't perform good, there's still more teams that's gonna get into the top 4 if they don't have enough points to get into the top 4. Because 𝗦𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, they did not join to this lobby, but they already know that in top 1 with those elimination points, even not getting the chicken dinner, coming second 2 times. So the first game, the second game, it doesn't even matter, because the elimination point was on point. That's why they are confident enough. Now we can see a fight against original Black Panther and 1 player from Champion. There's a player from behind. Yeah, he's gonna get knocked. Ooh. Is his team gonna close nearby, because they had a very nice rotation onto this player, surrounding that player. Champion was not able to do anything to help his lone player to get from this direction. But we can see that they're still trying to get some more kills. Black Panther, they are more hungry onto this fight. They are trying to get the information needed.
Yeah, we saw one of the players pouncing. I want to see these Black Panthers pouncing on this team. Like, fast game, fast execution. That's what we already saw, because we need to get these points. I want to see this Gabon team getting into the final, so that we can have at least a representative from this country. The only Gabon country which managed to reach the semi-finals, so why not reaching the final? But they unfortunately lost one of the players, 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, which was unfortunately ambushed by
they
one
got
of the
another
players
fight
from
with Saint
Sydney.
Esports. I thought it was close by Champion, because it was the same color, blue onto the small map. I got a bit confused if it was Champion, but it was Saint Esports onto the nearby. And Black Panthers also, I think, confused onto the team. That's why he tried to take the sniping tower. But Atomic, they're gonna get squashed when playing like this. They are not having enough more information. There's a Geo onto the petrol station. What? Is he sure that he wanted to stop here? But DB shotgun to the head. 𝗦𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, he's gonna get the knockout. Oh, he puts it a bit low, but his last player is. There's still a Geo remaining, but they're trying to push this petrol station.
No, you don't know. You don't want to play like this, Black Panther. Come on, you are like 1-1 or 1-5. Oh,
Thankfully, they're falling back. Because
back.
Ruthless needed this point. They are happily to welcome them onto the special station, because they needed a point. And we can see 4AM, yes, holding the high ground, but Ruthless Esports managed to put one knock, and 4AM, sorry, not 4AM, 4 Miracles reply back and knock one player onto the petrol station, but Ruthless Esports is losing no time, pushing onto the 4 Miracles, actually passing very close to him, be able to get onto the rock.
What is he doing?
That's what I'm thinking, but he was so low. His player was from behind. Will he be able to get the revive? There's 3 players onto this. They already confirmed Ernie from Ruthless Esports. There's gonna be a 3 versus 3. They won't be able to get this revive from because he's taking cover from the rock, and his team is putting the effort to get him cover. But what's a knock coming from Bone, Ruthless Esports, a Geo from 4 Miracles remaining onto the compound. They need to push it now because they don't need to wait for the revive to happen. And Bone is going for it. Is nice putting the smoke to be able to go because he knows that one's gonna revive and one's gonna put cover. It's very well thinking to put the smoke, but we can see one player from Ruthless got knocked. Vaccine, I don't know from where he got knocked, but he's gonna let time for 4 Miracles to revive the player again. But 4 Miracle, one player just come very close by, and he's gonna push DBS in hand. This switch.
Unfortunately, but luckily for 4 Miracles, managed to survive from this Ruthless push. It was crazy to see, but Ruthless did quite a lot of you mistake into that push. We saw them taking, like, rotating 1 by 1, 2 by 2, but the cover was not here. The info, like, they've been pushing without any information. Like, we knew it was 4 Miracle on the high ground, but like pushing someone behind a rock instead of pushing on a full compound where there was more team. They should have considered to go into that compound instead of behind the rock.
That's true. We saw Slipher knocking himself from the nade onto the leaderboard and champion, and confirming the kill. Wow. But they are getting gunshot fired from Gas Esports, still looting on Yashnaya. We know that champion was not looting in Yashnaya the last Irangle. They came from rotation to Yashnaya, and the second game is still the same. They're trying to hold Yashnaya because it's in the zone. Stage 2 is closing.
Definitely a lot of team.
Definitely a lot of teams in Yashnaya. There's iOS, and iOS only 1 player left, and he's in a very bad position. Exusha, Freeman standing, but 4 Miracle, they've been getting the points, and also Mercenary Esports, they've been a bit chill for the moment, but they killed 2 players from the Black Panthers who got killed from Ruthless Esports, and also the champion. They was killed by 3 different teams when going. I don't know what happened from the Black Panthers, but they need to review on the live, or even if they have screen record, they need to screen record basically. So they need to still see the recording, what happened, what was the mistake, what could have been avoided. But now we can see soldiers with the sniper, AWM. We have not seen much sniping onto the AIM Africa, but now we're seeing with AWM fighting against Immortals. Mul, he's trying to get a knock or even 1 damage. Vest level 3, helmet level 3.
Definitely a drop. Yes. Definitely a drop, but he managed to snatch. So we need the SS, the soldier survivor, we need sports as well, but we were seeing a lot of Gascom eSport on the screen. Definitely a team that needs to work a little bit more towards these spawns. They have their chance into this final, into this top 4. It's only the 3rd game which is playing right now. We have this game and the last game of Miramar. Look at this zone. Look at this southern part of the zone is being stacked up with a lot of team. I'm talking about at least 4 to 5 team, and even iOS is being surrounded by a lot of team as well. But this western part of 𝗦𝗪𝗏, the high ground, can turn a little bit of a very good opportunity for Immortals for this game, which look clearly well settled. And once again, we see Mercenary as well into that last zone, but will they be able to hold this rotation is especially like it's mainly being done on the eastern part. We see a lot of team DBS now trying to rotate iOS as well, and even the Survivor, the SSS team, and the Phoenix team as well entering from the north. It's all gonna be on which teams manage to get their place into that zone or manage to defend their position into that zone. We saw on the early stage, on the earlier map of the Erangel map, it was all about defending your position because of the rotation, team crashing here and there. So it's all gonna be how you're gonna manage to keep your cold blood.
Yes, but this zone also, Mega, might be closing into the open because we see that this zone it will be closing into the open. I might think, it might get hard shift as always. It does happen, but we can see that for Miracle, they are playing a bit slow. They are still playing onto the borderline, trying to get the information needed. Sheik is putting an eye onto the back, and Goblin, he's doing the front work, having the information. There's a team onto the compound. It's a team champion onto the surrounding, and in front of them is team Immortals. Immortals also, they have a very good position, but they are into the middle of the zone. And if they do a very big split onto the middle of the zone, if team try to crushes them and their team is a bit far away, they might have taken different fights onto the middle. It's going to be a very nasty position for them. Why even is going to be in the middle? Because middle, yes, you have the advantage. If there's a hard shift, you will have it to be able to move better into the zone because you're in the middle. You can move left or right better. But as I was mentioning, it's only one player from Immortal and two players from the whole squad from Mercenary Esports are into the zone, and Trinity Gaming also holding the zone. And I just want to see how Immortals are going to defend this position, because there's going to be many teams onto the surrounding that's going to come into that position, because there's a way more team outside the zone. We can see Exusha coming very close to Immortal. Umar, are they going to take the fight?
Two team. I believe Immortal gonna be gets crashing sandwich between two team, and even more. If DBS wanna join this fight, it's fair time. It's gonna be a fight for the elimination points that we might gonna see for this team, or a fight to get a better place into that zone. But mistakes are being done from a few team. But I see DBS maybe going towards Trinity Gaming this time, which are definitely looks like these team are looking for compounds for them, but these mistakes are being committed and are definitely playing against them. We see for Miracle losing some players, champion team as well, and Exusia. They also managed to try their best, but for Miracle this time, they are getting pushed. Goblin being the sole survivor right now, so unfortunately for him from S1 so definitely something to consider. But 𝗦𝗧𝗛𝗘𝗗𝗏 this time, they took their chance to get a hold on this 4 Miracle team, but they are not definitely being Miracle wise into this game. But the smoke are being thrown by Nox. So definitely an opportunity for them to get some revive.
It's going to be difficult to revive too. The zone is closing.
Yeah, the zone is closing as well, and Champion decided to fall back into the zone. They definitely need to fall back into this zone. And I believe from this 4th stage, 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗘, it's going to be crazy. There's going to be a lot of fire, because there's a lot of teams that they want compounds. They're not going to get for sure. They're going to play for the open field or looking some few rocks, but definitely going to see some player hiding behind them. We still see Immortal holding their grounds. We saw team trying to rotate on them, but decided to go on another way round. 𝗦𝗧𝗛𝗏𝗃 managed to get only one revive, so a duo from the 𝗦𝗧𝗛𝗏𝗃 team that we're gonna see advancing. They had a little shack. I believe it was an edge, but you're gonna seal their deal eventually. So unfortunately, back to the lobby from the 𝗦𝗧𝗛𝗏𝗃 team from the Mercenary Union that we saw on the western part. Quite happy with these 2 points at least. They've been silent throughout the first Erangel map and the second Erangel map as well.
Yes.
They've been very silent, like holding their position. It's kind of working for them, and they are not done yet. They are getting a few points, but Gascom coming into the game, coming into the fight as well, stealing those elimination points. That's what they need to do. That's what these teams which are looking for elimination points need to be considering: stealing points, stealing elimination points. And now in 𝗦𝗘𝗠𝗏, we see 𝗦𝗘𝗠𝗏 seeing one of the players of 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗟𝗏. So 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗏 need to be cautious about it. That 𝗦𝗏 definitely revealed that location, but as 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏 pushing forward, putting 𝗦𝗧𝗏 really low, and it's a confirmed knock for 𝗦𝗧𝗏. So 𝗦𝗧𝗏 really low HP. He decided to go back into he wanted to fall back to get at least some HP because he was already low HP, but not a wise decision. He decided to run back again. So definitely a lot of teams crashing into each other in 𝗦𝗘𝗠𝗏. I like what I'm seeing. Even if they had a few players which is not, they are definitely still putting the pressure, but we need to consider working on this revive. Umar and Valerian, they need to be considering reviving their teammates. I believe revive is being done from the side of 𝗦𝗘𝗏𝗏, but we need to be a full squad into this game because there's only Phoenix, Trinity Gaming, and of course there's a few teams which is a full squad right now, so definitely a time for them. But Gascom, they to be into trouble. They already lost Absol, and they need to keep the numbers. And Trinity Gaming coming into this fight, and now we did not see Trinity Gaming at all during this game, but now they said, why were we not invited into this kill feast? Because we are feasting for it, but unfortunately we lost Nax. Nax getting a long shot knock all the way from the other side, but they are still fighting it. Unfortunately, Neil right now got a knock very low. Will he be able to get a revive? It was very, very close for Trinity Gaming. They managed to hold on their dream, and now this time in 𝗦𝗘𝗏𝗏 having to run their way into that zone because Trinity Gaming, they are into the center of the zone, maybe trying their best to control, but they need to reset. There are a few players which is they need to reset the fight. They need the utilities. They need the ammo to manage to hold. They are definitely into a little reach, but definitely there are a lot of team on their backside as well. So they will need to keep an eye on a 270-degree radius in front of them.
Yes, this zone for stage 6 is going to be closing. I mean, for stage 7 now closed. Stage 6, but we can see that there's 16 players alive and 6 teams, and Gascom eSports playing with a trio, putting very much more pressure onto this game and trying to push the last player of 𝗦𝗘𝗏𝗏, and they do get it. 4 men standing still for 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏, and 4 men standing for also Trinity Gaming. Who's gonna take the more advantage? And the OP Mafian crew, they're gonna get a bit busy from 2 teams because Mercenary Union, they're trying to push the OP Mafian, they're trying to fall back. Now we can see another fight. Gascom eSports taking a fight against soldiers. We can see also OP Mafia is pushing onto the Gascom eSports, sending them back to the lobby with 5 elimination points. What's a push from OP Mafia? They don't know if the players have been sent back to the lobby.
Yeah, they are spraying into that smoke, but definitely
Mercenary eSports fighting against the Trinity Gaming 4 men.
Trinity Gaming back to the lobby. Mercenary Union. We're gonna see a 4v3 situation, which is gonna be very interesting. No team has the advantage of the zone. Only one of the players, Mercenary Union, which is in the zone, but Alex getting a knock on Alucard, and the attention is being thrown on the left side. Only 2 players standing into the OPX team.
They're just collecting nades and just throwing nades in.
They know that's gonna be the option for them to closing it. They want to confirm this elimination. They want to fight for this chicken dinner, and they definitely gonna get it. Maybe one last player,
left, right, left, and
it's
finally
a winner chicken dinner for the Mercenary Union. They've been playing, we can say passively, but well defended their western side of this 𝗚𝗥𝗔𝗡 map. We saw them all the way from the other side of 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗔𝗡, holding their ground, seeing a few teams around, looking for this fight, defending their position, getting into fights. But I don't believe that decision of the OPX, OP Mafia crew, was a wise thing to do. They crashed into that few remaining player of Trinity Gaming, but the position that they crashed gave them a disadvantage. They were into the smoke. They even didn't know if the players were still around. So it definitely was not. I think they crashed into Gascom, and Trinity was fighting mercenary from the other side. But definitely, so they should have sent only one player or a few of them into the Gascom and try to get a hole into that low zone instead of going a full team like that. But I believe they wanted the points. They wanted the elimination points. We saw a lot of teams stealing points, stealing elimination points. It was definitely a different game without RGC into that fight, but well deserved chicken dinner for Mercenary Union, which I believe gonna be quite happy about it after a first game where we got only 5 elimination points and a second game with only 3. These are consistency numbers for them.
This is gonna boost them onto the top 4 onto the leaderboard, because Mercenary Union, they've been leading this point as coming for the 4th match that will be starting very soon. The last match of tonight, the last match of
already
the
last match. The last match was semi-finals, Kaidu.
Miramar, and we don't know if it's gonna be 15 team or still 16 team. We're just very hoping to see every team that's having qualified for the semi-final onto the last game, putting more action. The entertainment was very on point. Thank you for every team and even the spectator which are with us. We are seeing your commentators when you're commenting, so still do spam onto the chat. And the 4 Miracle also, they've been playing very good, but they got a crash from the Scene eSports, and the Scene eSports got on a third party from this team onto this fight. So there was a lot of fight was going on when the zone was closing, because many more team onto this lobby, they were playing on survival. So this nade was very on point. 2 knocks sent back to the lobby. Mercenary was holding their grounds. Every team who was coming onto the surrounding was getting smoke. Even Gascom eSport putting the pressure onto the soldiers' survival, who needed the points. And this was a kind of mistake that was done by Cheetos. And he got the knock, and he tried to get back to confirm the kill, but he was low on HP. And Immortals, they were onto the middle of the zone, but they did not have quite of the elimination that I was hoping for. Only 2 that I can see. Oh, now, and also Trinity Gaming, they be putting the consistency on the work. Even that they came 3rd onto this match, but they had some kills and even came 3rd onto the last 𝗚𝗥𝗔𝗡, that they managed to be able to get the point needed, because we must remember that the team that got chicken dinner is gonna be a different point onto the leaderboard, because 𝗦𝗔𝗏𝗔𝗏 was also onto top 4.
See, they both decided from the Gascom team, they both decided to go to the southern part of this map, and unfortunately has played against them. And we also saw Trinity Gaming coming very late into the zone, like aiming for the middle of the zone, but they got concentrated by all the remaining team, and of course the final execution from the Thompson play that OPX tried to do versus Mercenary, which was definitely not enough. The Somalia team rising up for this time, for this 3rd game of tonight of this group D of the PUBG Mobile Aim Africa. So Mercenary Union with quite a lot of elimination points. I'm quite it's quite crazy to see how many points they managed to get within the 5th to the low zone.
Yes, they needed this point because they got 7 elimination point for this match, because we saw those 2 previous match, Sanhok and 𝗦𝗧𝗛𝗘, they did not have enough points, but they were pretty close. They were 5th position onto the overall leaderboard when we saw open on the beginning of the match of 𝗦𝗧𝗛𝗘. But they needed 𝗦𝗧𝗛𝗘 with elimination kills to be able to get on the top 4. And they have been playing very good onto this match because I knew that this team was a very performance team onto even the PMAC. And now they have shown it onto the PMMA, which is going to help them also qualify. Now the MVP is the player from Mercury, 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗟𝗦, getting 7.
Mercenary Union.
Mercenary.
Mercury. Apologize for
apologize.
that.
Thank you.
But it's definitely gonna be some difference. That's what we're gonna see. Totally different from we saw for the 2 previous game. A different MVP, different top 4 players.
Yes, it's gonna be different because this one is a player. Now we're gonna see head-to-head is the same as we saw for the previous match. 7 elimination point, 602 damage and 24 damage taken. They were not even fighting, like not many squad was fighting with them onto this match. They were already holding those ground that it was difficult for squad to be able to get into the zone, and they were trying to go onto the east side of the island. And it's 𝗦𝗧𝗛𝗘. I'm so sorry if I'm not pronouncing your name right, but yes, you're the head-to-head next to your MVP for the 𝗦𝗧𝗛𝗘. We're gonna see the top 4 players coming. The two head-to-head we just saw, and it's a player from that's eSports, 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗡𝗗, that's 4 elimination, 4 knockout, 512 damage. And another player that we saw from Trinity Gaming, it's 𝗦𝗧𝗛𝗘, 2 elimination, 1 knockout, 510 damage. Very well played from those top 4 players. And now the most longest kill has been taken off from the first match of 𝗦𝗏𝗏𝗘, because the second match was not as high as the first match. And we see free airdrop has been looted, 133 probables.
It's a lot.
Yes, and it's quite of the same damage that has been dealt from the previous match, 𝗦𝗧𝗛𝗘, and this here is also the same, quite of the same damage, 58 knockouts, 56 elimination, 60 players, and only 4 players has died outside of the zone, which is not pretty bad because the zone damage is also very, very wrong decision when talking about the stage or going onto the zone.
So definitely on this match, the top 4 instead, but we gonna see, and I'm quite happy to see Gascom eSports, the Madagascar team, but I've been wanting to see the only Madagascar team into that group D performing very well. They were here, they were into this party, this skill feast that we were seeing between each and other team, and even OP Mafia and crew from the Nigeria team was around. But Mercenary Union, now I see why you are wowing 𝗦𝗏𝗘. 2,184 damage, 26 nades, even there've been some grenade launchers with them, and this I believe most of these elimination points might have been coming from these nades, because when we saw Mercenary Union from the 4th zone, they were at the far west of it, like they were alone looking for their position, like holding their position. I wanted to see if they are managing again to hold back, because we saw on the second game of the 𝗦𝗧𝗛𝗘 map that they were also around shelter holding their position, but they couldn't manage with the whole mess of action which was going on between each other. But with 17 elimination points, they are definitely very happy about all these points. 27 points in total for them, and Trinity Gaming finally putting a comeback after the first game, which was won by them. They are at the 2nd place with 9 elimination points, with a total of 14 points, and 3 team instead. But I'm quite happy to see on this first page OP Mafia and crew, 12 points for them. Gascom eSports from the Madagascar team with 9 points, and of course 𝗦𝗏𝗔𝗏𝗏, but we've been mentioning at the start of this 3rd game that we wanted to see them putting some effort into that game. They did. They showed us they are here, and now they are on this first page. And some team that we unfortunately saw not really performing very well. I'm talking about 𝗦𝗧𝗛𝗘𝗏𝗏. They were not here during the second game. They came, but their decision was quite different. Even original Black Panthers as well. And also, I wanted to see a different iOS, a team that I've been vouching for since the start of the stream.
eSports, we did not see them quite performing onto this, because they were on the second page onto the leaderboard of 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, and even iOS, it was only a solo was trying to play for the last match of 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. Now it's the time for the last match of tonight for Group D. Is the end of the semi-final, the last match.
The last game, the last game of the semi-final. It's been a run for them, so it's the final countdown. Who's gonna be the top 16 for going for the final? It's gonna be, of course, be after this game that we gonna know. So going in straight hot into this final game of this semi-final, the Miramar, the fourth game of tonight. Who's gonna get this chicken dinner? For a reminder, the first game won by Trinity Gaming, the second game won by Exusia, and the third game was won by First Mercenary Union. The question that we are all asking, do we have RGC? I see them, Skydo. I see them back into this game, and they also we can see they are still at the top one for sure. So they came back just to make sure. They went to have dinner. They were hungry for kills and went to have dinner, and now they are back into the action for this last game of tonight. So definitely a full lobby for sure that we are gonna be witnessing, Skydo.
Yes, and we might see some early fight too, because we can see on 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 that RGC, no, the Ruthless Esports is fighting another team close to 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, and there's only champions looting the 𝗦𝗧𝗛𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. 2 teams, I think, on Picado, and 1 team on 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. Closely, DBX very close to Power Grid, with 2 teams next to it, Exusia, and also I think it was a team of 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗟𝗏𝗏𝗏. And Ruthless, using this crossbow that's explosive, can get some long range knocks from it, but they managed to get back to be able to loot peacefully, to get some more vehicles, and to actually have more decent position onto the looting, not actually taking early fight onto this moment, because they need the points to get qualified on the top 4. They did not have any points accumulate for them onto the 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 match. So we can see that original Black Panthers looting peacefully 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 right in the moment. And I don't know if it can happen. They just need to make a decent ranking and some elimination point, because we saw that 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗟𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 was dominating 2 match, and when they were not here onto the 3rd match, we saw Mercenary Union taking the chicken dinner with a lot of points. Now it's a fight that's gonna get started for Miracles against iOS. He already knows the location, but missed the nades. 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, it was very close for him, and Goblin trying to get from the other way of Picado, trying to push 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, knock and finish.
Most probably Goblin been looking at him for the whole time. That's why his teammate tried to throw that nade right on point, but was not quick enough. But for Miracle putting the pressure for this game, or this last game of tonight, they know that they don't have a lot of points, but they do want to penalize even more those teams who are struggling to get into the top 4. There are definitely a lot of opportunities for this top 4. We saw a few team like in a very good position into that overall standing that we managed to get a glimpse on before the game starts. So definitely there are quite a few teams that do have their chance for at least the 4th position in that overall ranking. So they're definitely going to fight for it. I'm talking about Exusia, OP Mafia Crew, even iOS, Gascom eSports. So definitely these teams need to try harder if they want that last few for spot into that final. But for Miracle, this time iOS Diffler, so you take one of my friends, I take one of yours. So it's a trade of elimination points that is being done between these 4 teams. But we did see these 2 teams, for Miracle and iOS, as well, being like quite fighting between each other during the first and the second map. So it's quite a rivalry between those 2 teams. But for Miracle, we need to reconsider this push, because as you can see, iOS
is just holding
that building. Like
it's a very difficult push onto this building, because there's only stairs that you can use to climb, and also there's another place that you can climb. But if iOS are definitely gonna look forward to secure this spot. But for Miracles, they got a knock from the M24. It's the second time that we see snipers, but that was actually a nice knock, putting the raise. And for Miracles also trying to push onto the scene of iOS and Goblin. They are admitting, they're putting the step forwards to come close to them, but they already know that they got the revive. They don't have any nades to be able to use, but a player from 4 Miracles, 𝗦𝗧𝗏, got onto another angle that it's gonna be difficult for him to, if he gets knocked, because his teammates won't be able to get from this way to revive him. But he must still stay together with his teammate. He will be able to put the cover needed for his teammates. But when they will try to push onto the stairs, they won't have any cover from 𝗦𝗧𝗏. So 𝗦𝗧𝗏 also must push with them onto the stairs. But 4 Miracle are looking very forward to push onto this compound, Mega.
Goblin is acting like a real goblin, but solo rush managed to spot 𝗏𝗏𝗏, which was trying to close the gap as well. But Goblin, he managed to sneak his way. Death did hear him, but Goblin managed to get into that ground floor, and it's looking like very dangerous for iOS right now with that 4 a.m. push, because iOS, we need to put even more people checking the stairs now instead of checking the windows, because Goblin been running around. The nade is being thrown right now. You've been saying that they unfortunately didn't have the nade, but I believe on the way they are indeed managing to get a few nades. There's only Goblin and one of the 4 Miracle player, which is kind of close, and find C, which had to fall back a little bit after getting shot. But Goblin needs to consider what to do in that situation. Will iOS look for him, which can be very dangerous?
They should be looking for him, because he's the only player onto this compound. His 2 players not very close to him. So it is the opportunity to actually push this player onto the compound. And if Goblin is going to be playing smart, he will try to get out of this compound and actually play hide and seek with them till a backup from 4 Miracles trying to get this knock. But onto this situation, iOS should consider to actually push the only one solo onto this compound. With 3 players standing onto this compound, is making no effort onto this fight. So either it's going to be a very long fight till the second stage also is going to be closing, or I don't know, we might be losing 2 players. But 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 also is coming very close to the Goblin, and they need to push together if they're trying to push. But iOS, 𝗏𝗏𝗏 are also trying to get him downstairs onto the scene, and he got one knock onto the scene. And we see that Dev also trying to push onto the stairs. They're trying to push, take the revenge for 𝗏𝗏𝗏, but they came together. 𝗏𝗏𝗏 also came onto the compound. They will try to push together now, because they'll have 4 kills. 2 kills already confirmed, and 1 player has been sent back to the lobby. But iOS, 2 players have already been sent back to the lobby. We can see another fight happening on 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 from TG. Trinity Gaming, and I think it was seen eSports onto the surrounding, rotating on 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. And now it's still 4 Miracles are a bit scared to be able to push onto the stairs, because they know that it's only one angle, and if they do have shotgun, it's gonna be pretty massive, and the damage also is going to be on the angle of the aim is only going to be facing onto one direction on the stairs when they were trying to push. Trinity Gaming also trying to loot outside the zone, still have 800 meters to cover to get inside the zone, and fight still happen onto 𝗦𝗘𝗘𝗏𝗏. iOS eSports against 𝗦𝗚𝗚𝗏𝗏. Fight still ongoing. Have one need. Def have one need that he might use.
𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗘𝗏𝗏 playing the hide and seek game, but it's working for him. Some trades being done between this whole team. This team is wiping each other one by one, and I believe it's a 1v1 situation right now between this both team. But Def need to be considering to try for a revive on solo rush, because 4AM Goblin managed to get his revive for his team, but Def did not consider for a revive. A wise decision, maybe, because for Miracle pushing, but Def is very low. But luckily for him, that other player, but the plays the jump shot from 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗘𝗏𝗏 managed to clutch for his team. But iOS didn't went back to the lobby empty-handed. They at least got free of that player. What a revive he played. They were trading knocks between each other until it became a 1v1 situation, but it was 4AM which managed to get the revive instead of iOS. So
yes,
we're gonna see 4AM still into that game, but iOS, what can we say? Definitely it's a bye-bye for them. They will definitely not be able to qualify themselves. They were very close. We saw them into the 6th position, 6 or I believe 6 or 7 position into that leaderboard before, but unfortunately for them, it's the end of the road. So 4Miracles still got that chance with that one player, and we were into 𝗦𝗘𝗏𝗏𝗏 for quite a long while, and we couldn't get a hold on what was going on onto this map. We can see RGC still looking for these points, and he's going into that one solo player from 4AM. Please spare him. He's trying to get something out of this crazy fight that they just did. So a lot of teams still outside of the zone. You see OPX and even 𝗦𝗚𝗏𝗏𝗏 at the further back, and Ruthless eSports, you mentioned for the previous games, we saw them committing quite a lot of mistakes. We don't want to see them for this game. We do see them rotating very wisely, very well decided to claim a different high ground with the opposing team at the other side, which is champion team. They are indeed into a good position right now to take a fight.
They are, but there's a team from the behind of Ruthless eSports, so they need to reconsider onto this fight. As I was mentioning, and it was Soldier Survivor. He did not get knocked passing with 1 HP onto this compound onto Soldier Survivor, but it was this team that was putting the backstab pressure.
The pink car went into that compound and ran away.
I thought he was going to get knocked. He was 1 HP passing this compound.
It is the advantage of having a small car, you know.
Volkswagen too, wow.
The Volkswagen car, like, he went into the compound and decided to just evade that place, and it worked for them. Everyone in the SSS team were like, okay,
yes,
what was that? So definitely, yep. Like Ruthless, they always throw us these kind of plays. They always surprise us, and besides, they are giving us some pre-action before the big action that's gonna happen into that Miramar game. Because 𝗦𝗘𝗏𝗏𝗏, we still have 15 teams, and we did have 16 team finally into that lobby, but only unfortunately iOS back to lobby and 15 team for this Miramar game.
What a split!
RGC into that party.
Yes, what a split by Gascom eSports. They have surrounded the team of DBX onto this compound and trying to get a knock to be able to push on this compound, because they knows that 4 players are into this compound. So when the zone is going to be closing, I don't think they're going to be in the zone mega. So when they will try to get out, go into the zone, it's going to happen the same situation that happened onto the 𝗦𝗚𝗏𝗏𝗏 match, where 4Miracle was trying to go outside, to go into the zone, and 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗟𝗏𝗏𝗏 was surrounding them all into different direction. I think it's the same strategy that Gascom eSports are trying to do onto this situation. I think 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗟𝗘 are not trying to interfere the last player from home. Oh, they already sent him back to the lobby. I don't see him onto the kill field as 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗚𝗘𝗗's 4 players has been left.
We see RGC with 1 point, so
Yes.
definitely they were the one hounding on for Miracles, unfortunately. But I would say 4 Miracles gave us quite a nice run, even if they didn't have that point. But we did saw them in a lot of fight tonight, Skydo. Like, they've been into a lot of trouble, and they did give us quite a few nice plays. So definitely we are thanking every team which of course participated all the way from the group stage, because as a reminder, we had 120 teams, Skydo, which came into the PUBG Mobile Aim Africa, which round down into 64 for this semi-final, and only 16 are advancing to the final. We already know the 12 teams, but the 4 remaining team will be known after this game. So definitely something to be staying around to see for this Tuesday.
Yes, zone just closed, and Gascom eSports still putting the pressure on DBX, so they know they need to get inside the zone.
Take a look at Mercenary Esport. Once again, like, they are looking for a place into the zone. That western part of the map are the best rotation tactics. We saw them into the Lost Wrangle map, taking the western part, but Gascom, they are going straight away until DBX. Maybe DBS was waiting for this occasion to wait for a team to push them, but Gascom, the patient was over for them. They wanted to push DBX the faster that they can. They had only 2 players, which is very close, and 𝗦𝗧𝗛𝗘 holding that ground to the other end. Will Nero manage to put the pressure? He managed to get 1 knock, but unfortunately get knocked. And Magic there's a tree blocking his vision, not giving him the opportunity. But 𝗦𝗦𝗛𝗃 from the other side doing the job, giving the cover, and Magic keep on looking for the angle for this fight. But Beru is probably giving the information, but there are a lot of knock player in front of them. Gascom, they need to push this game, but nade that is coming very close to 𝗦𝗦𝗃, and a second one bouncing and connected. What a nice nade from DBX. Burger connecting those nades one by one, and he's not gonna be hesitating. He's gonna push to give that revive for his teammate. He knows that Magic is very far from his team. Will Magic take do a push or for that? Maybe the wise decision for him is to push. Like, he has nothing to lose for this, but he decides to fall back, even if he had a teammate which was not giving him the information that he could have been given.
Started against 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗟𝗘 against Champion. 1 knock already has been dealt, and 3 players left for the Champion to fight the 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗟𝗘. The Champion, they're pretty split, and 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗘s, they're pretty together, fighting together, throwing nades and having someone putting the cover, and this reverb just knock. How many nades you're throwing? I think I just saw like 5 nades just sending everywhere. And Shiva also, last nade just been sent. He's trying to push the player, Sniper, Terror, getting the vehicles close to them. And Shiva half on the HP, but Nasser able to get Terror. Last player standing for Champion, it's a Sniper. Is he gonna? He's low on HP, but Shiva managed to get the 4 elimination points onto Champion. 8 elimination already confirmed for 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗟𝗘. Still standing strong, 4 players alive. 𝗦𝗥𝗑𝗑 having a decent position onto Monero.
They did try Champion. They did try to get that play on RGC, but unfortunately, it was not enough. We saw 2 knock. Into RGC, but definitely,
even with a Geo, they're still like holding very strong on the ground.
The amount of need, like we were seeing them throwing, I believe in just this fight, they've thrown around maybe 5 or 6 or even more nades. Like, it's definitely their strategy that they are putting the pressure and like you say, even as in duo, so even if they are losing numbers, they don't panic. They do consider keep on applying the pressure on the opponent team. So that's why we call a team which has a great communication.
And 𝗦𝗧𝗏 also, they are playing with a trio, lost one player and have 2 elimination points. And this team, OPX African team, he's very close with 𝗦𝗧𝗏, only 2 points behind. He's gonna need those points to be able to get onto the top 4. So that's the two teams fighting close to be able to get onto the top 4. But X-Force, they are not gonna stop putting the knocks that they need to do. And Reverb getting 1 kill confirmed onto the Immortal. Immortal still fighting back, getting the second knocks from X-Force. Baby.
Rejects are like, guys, let's get this party started. It's the stage 4. So where are the points? Where are the elimination points? Something that this team need to be considering. They saw, they know RGC is back into this game, so we need to rework the strategy. We definitely won't see the same strategy that we saw on the 3rd game where RGC was not there. So definitely
they were just following the player of Immortal.
Looking, whenever they see a team, whenever they see points, they are going for win, and they are so confident to let even Baby going for the solo push from the other side.
And why even they are trying to put the pressure? They're just getting information everywhere where he just got sent back to the lobby.
He don't even need 𝗦𝗏𝗏. 𝗦𝗏𝗏 is just putting coming into looking for the
𝗦𝗧𝗏 need those points to be able to get to the top 4.
Come on, 𝗦𝗧𝗏.
As he is in a decent position, but X-Force, they are not. They're still thinking that the last player are still onto this compound. That's why 𝗦𝗏𝗏 is throwing the nade.
That's a mistake that we're gonna see maybe from 𝗦𝗧𝗏, like shooting the scout instead of looking for, like, if he shoot the scout, he's gonna reveal his position. So maybe this
Baby very low onto 𝗦𝗏𝗏𝗏. 𝗦𝗏𝗏𝗏 with the sniping, mini 14. He's doing the work. He's putting the damage needed for his team to get the elimination. That's how they got 4 elimination, because they are holding a ground onto the high ground. So they're getting every information needed onto the left, onto the east side and the west side.
An opportunity for them maybe, but they are at the other side of this canyon, so definitely it's gonna be very hard. A second one. I think RGC this time is getting some pressure from some different team. Mercenary
might push, and I think they're thinking the decision of pushing. Baby has already know that past the communication that they are pushing. Reverb that just got in the knock, and 𝗦𝗏𝗏 is throwing the nade, unable to revive Reverb onto this, cooking another nade to be able to throw. Mercenary also cooking the nades to throw at 𝗧𝗏, but there's 2 players fighting against 𝗧𝗏. 𝗧𝗏 also cooked what's a nade thrown. And Mercenary, they saw this opportunity going there to able to confirm the 2 kills, and unfortunately Baby and 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏 only the duo left for X-Force reject. But I think Mercenary, they will need to push onto the zone. They might push X-Force reject if they know that is the team that's holding duo right now, or they have a different opportunities to go onto more right side onto the zone. But it's very unfortunate to see X-Force reject holding with a duo onto the map of Miramar.
We saw this duo into the first game. They tried their best to get the plays done, but let's see how this gonna go this time. I believe there's 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏 as well on a long range, like scouting this fight, putting some little bit of more pressure on RGC. So I hope they manage. Mercenary Union, they are doing the job this time. 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏 getting knocked, so there's only Baby left into that dominating RGC team. That comeback that they thought they were gonna do until this game is not working for them. This team managed to find that opportunity, that gap, that mistake into that team, and Mercenary are quite happy about it. They needed the point. They just got a chicken dinner, and they maybe even want more. But that Baby, that position that he is, was trying to get a hold on a team, but X-Force Reject. RGC back to lobby, ladies and gentlemen. The feast, the aim Africa for this last chicken dinner is now open for a lot of teams for this chance to get the opportunity to get into the top 4. I see SSS, I even see OPX in the 5th place on this temporary scoreboard, so they have their chance. They are a full team, the Nigeria team.
Yes, and where they're holding the Mafian crew, they're holding a very nice path into the zone, because 𝗦𝗦𝗡𝗗𝗏 also with 2 players, and they need to, they're still in the top 4, but this team is behind them and 4 men standing. They need to fight all these teams onto 𝗦𝗧𝗛𝗏𝗘 to be able to get into the zone. We can see there's 3 teams nearby: Phoenix, DBX, 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗟𝗦, and also 𝗦𝗦𝗡𝗏𝗏 fighting onto the same direction. And we can see Ruthless eSports putting the pressure onto 𝗦𝗧𝗛𝗏, throwing nades. And will we be able to connect the nades that they're throwing? Nades after nades is being thrown. Are we gonna get this kill confirmed? And they need to still focalize onto the left side, because 𝗦𝗦𝗡𝗏𝗏 is crossing on the road. Even 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗟𝗦 is trying to get into the zone, but sent back to the lobby. 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗟𝗦 getting 2 elimination points, 3 players still alive.
Oh, it hurts that zone, penalizing a lot of teams fighting outside of the zone. 𝗦𝗦𝗡𝗏𝗏 being the one having some issue with that, and they are definitely gonna be unfortunately be sent back to the lobby. And SSS being the gatekeeper, but being a gatekeeper, they also has lost one of the players. There's only 𝗏𝗏𝗏, 3 of them from Trinity Gaming. I believe 𝗏𝗏𝗏 can get a hold of the few shots. He do go for it. He managed to put more knocks, and he can even do even more if he managed to clutch even more. The OP Mafia crew, we want to see them working.
They need to skill Mega, because 𝗦𝗦𝗡𝗏𝗏 just got sent back to the lobby, and they have only 28 points. So if Mafian crew is gonna get, what a nade was thrown by 𝗦𝗧𝗛𝗏𝗏. Sorry, you need to pronounce this, Mega.
Mercenary Union.
Thank you. What a nade has been thrown from this team, and they are putting the pressure to come forward to push this. But Mafian Magic, he knows that they're pushing forwards, trying to get the defense ready, and it's a P90. What a... He's very low to HP. I was thinking that he would be knocked, but this opportunity has fallen off hand for OP Mafian crew. I thought they will be able to get the knocks, the kills they need to get qualified for the top 4. So is it going to be enough for 𝗦𝗦𝗡𝗏𝗏? We can also see 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏 that they need those skills to be able to get onto the top 4. And 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, he's the last man standing, but they also know that they're already in the top 4.
The place for the final is in 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏 hand. We need to get a chicken dinner, and with these elimination points, it's maybe a chance for them to get that last spot into the finals. But 𝗦𝗧𝗛𝗏𝗏 keeping under pressure, and even Trinity Gaming still into this game. 2 teams remaining. Finally, Trinity Gaming gets sent back to the lobby. It's a 2v1 situation. 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, your future is in your hands. But 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏 throwing the nades. He managed to throw one of the player, but he's very low, unfortunately. But it's a chicken dinner, a back-to-back chicken dinner for Mercenary Union. What a comeback of performance for them. Definitely 2 game, but they played the first Sanhok game and the second Erangel map with quite some difficulties, especially for the first Sanhok game.
So true.
But 2 chicken dinner for them. It's a confirmed place for the final. But I hope for the soldier survivors, the points that we managed to get, the elimination points and that survivor points.
3 teams very close. It was OP Mafian crew, 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, and also 𝗦𝗦𝗡𝗏𝗏𝗏. But 𝗦𝗦𝗡𝗏𝗏 was the team that was sent back to the lobby first. But OP Mafian crew did not have any elimination, but did receive the survival point. But I don't think it's gonna be enough, because you did mention it. If even you get in the top 5, there's not enough points that you're going to get received. That's why you need both elimination and survival points to be able to get a decent amount of points onto the leaderboard. But this leaderboard is going to be very close with every team's I think the top 8 team, I'm going to predict, is going to be very close to to each other.
We saw tiebreaker.
Except 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗚𝗏, Union and 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗚𝗏 are going to be onto a very more gap onto the points. They're going to be a lot of points are different. But 3 till 8, I think it's going to be pretty close.
Yeah, we saw tiebreaker into the group C. Hopefully, we don't see another tiebreaker into that group D.
It's going to be heartbreaking. Yes,
it's going to be heartbreaking for a lot of teams. But it's trying their best into that turn 4. It's definitely a very hard semi-final. But on the highlights, you can see that very long fight between iOS and for Miracles, which managed to clutch that game, which was definitely very good for them. And of course, that put them into a very disadvantage because there was only one remaining player in their team. They did give us a lot of very good fights since the start of this group, but let's see how it's gonna be. I was quite this fight was very interesting between Gascom eSport and DBS. Of course, we saw a very confident and nice positioning for Gascom.
I was not expecting Gascom to push this fight because the zone was about to close, and they already know that they can rotate easily than the DBX team, but they still decide to push this team onto this. But it was a bit fortunate for Gascom eSport to get sent back to the lobby with a fight that they would actually have a chance on winning, but they decide to crush this team, which DBX also, he knows how to defend its place, and he showed us how he's going to defend its place from Gascom eSport. But a very well played from DBX, and Gascom eSport also was trying to get the revive, but this nade, we're about to see a nice nade getting
bounce on that crate right into that back head of Absol, unfortunately. But Pubg was the one which managed to really clutch for his team, and that one remaining player of Gascom, I felt like he had nothing to lose. Definitely, I wanted to see him like to push into that fight. He had one of his teammates who was crawling around 2, even more crawler from the DBX team. So the information, like, he could have been giving the team some information. So this place was quite crazy from Ruthless Esport. Arnie like made his entrance right in front of a team and got out really.
And this fight also, Miguel, we were proud of champions, even competing with 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗚𝗏, but they managed to put 2 knocks onto the 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗚𝗏, the most dominating team into this lobby for Group D. And we saw all 𝗦𝗧𝗏.
It all started from here. It all started from 𝗦𝗧𝗏, like putting the pressure, putting one knock, and Mercenary coming all the way from the eastern part, getting another knock because there was 2 knock at some point in RGC, and as things started to heat up when a nice nade from Alex, which really sealed the deal on one of the best player in that RGC team. Everyone's very good into the RGC team, but Silva was the one putting a lot of very good plays. So definitely not something as I was expecting to see. I was expecting to see RGC once again for a chicken dinner, but Mercenaries Union was here to say no, not this time.
Yes, they definitely said that because they we did not see this performance onto the first match and second match, but the third and fourth match, the last match of Miramar, they've been putting the work. They tried, even with a Geo, not with full squad, they have been playing together and trying to fight every team possible, still staying together and trying to take the fight. But I thought that OP Mafian crew would have some because they had a decent position onto the zone, so that would have a better advantage for them to be able to get the kills. But unfortunately, Mercenary Union would have a better advantage onto the knocks that they did receive for this fight. But this fight also was kind of we saw this team, he was holding this ground, but unfortunately was not able to get the damage needed as they were on the high ground. But 10 kills.
Again, I
Wow.
believe the last game as well, he managed to get a lot of elimination points. Let me check that really quick. Yeah, definitely the last game, he managed to get a lot of elimination points because
17 kills.
he has a total for the all 4 game, he has a total of 19
I think the
elimination
last
points.
match too, they got 17 kills, and this match also they got 17 kills. So
lot of
it's
points for
yes, it's a lot of points, 27 points with a lot of damage too. we
He
can
was
see.
the one who sent that nade that has sealed
On
the
Shiva.
deal on Shiva.
Yes, it was a well cooked nade. It did not even, I think, did not even land on the ground, and it had already exploded. So it was a well timing for the nade cook. So a very different gameplay came from the 2 lost game for today, and 10 elimination points, 1,502 damage, 11 knockouts. Wow. And he's been putting the work for this match. We're gonna see, I don't know, we might see the top 4 players coming from the same squad as we have been seeing from the previous game.
We might see one of the player of Trinity Gaming as well. We saw a solo managing to get into that top 3 or top 4, so he did push back the SSS team and got a lot of kills out of there. But look at this damage. Come on, Alex. Compared to a head-to-head with Prison, we saw also Prison managed to get to hold his team during the last fight with some well-thrown nade into the direction of SSS. So
yes,
very good teammates, very good synergy between this Somalian team. And no, it's a player from Exusia, this time Nagatu, that sniper.
Yes, it was the damage from the sniper coming from 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗘𝗏. Yes, because he was on the higher ground and able to see any direction that would be able, and even for
was probably the kryptonite of RGZ.
yeah,
We were looking for the kryptonite, and it was Nagato with the sniper.
Exactly. But top 4 players, they've been putting the work for this match. Even for the last match of 𝗦𝗏𝗏, we saw them getting a lot of elimination points, getting the chicken dinner, and for Mirambo, they came to do the same thing, 17 kills with a chicken dinner. So on the leaderboard, it's gonna be I think pretty close with 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗏𝗏 and Mercenary Union. It's gonna be the same point. But for now, we can see the longest kill has been changed with 366 meters, 3 airdrop looted, 130 throwables. But the damage on this match has been the most damage has been done today. What a damage has been done with 68 knockout, only 63 players, and kill has been confirmed was 58. So there was knockout and getting the revive again from, I'm just taking example from the sniper or even from the long range, that is not easy to get pushed. So that's how Mirambo is. If you have the higher ground, people say yes, it's 75% the chance of advantage, but when you need to go into a different direction, it can change. You might be into a different position, into a bad situation too. As we saw a lot of teams, even from 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏, they were chilling into the zone, but when the zone closes, we saw like 5-6 teams trying to come onto the zone.
I was just about to mention that, like this time we saw in Miramar, which a lot of teams struggled until the end. We saw the play zone taking away a lot of very good teams. We saw Exosia losing a lot of players and even sending back to the lobby. But this top 4 team, Skydo, you've been pointing this to me.
I'm seeing similar things as the second match of 𝗦𝗏𝗏. The damage I'm seeing for Mercenary Union coming 3,000 damage and 17 kills. Even the last match they got 17 kills, but the damage was on 2,000 and something. But this time they came with a lot more damage coming from different type of fight that they took. We saw on the feed. But coming open Mafia and Crew with 0 kills, 491 damage. Unfortunately, I thought this team would be able to put the work needed as when I saw 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗚𝗘 going back to the lobby. Coming 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗍𝒑, decent play, not enough players to be able to take the fight from the duo of 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗍𝗦 Union. And Trinity Gaming also, consistency was on point for the fourth match. I've been seeing them every time onto the first leaderboard of the ranking.
Okay, so this gonna be look very interesting on this match ranking, but we are seeing 17 again, a lot of elimination points for sure for 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗍𝗦 Union. 27 points for them, following up a different points for 𝗦𝗧𝗏 this time with only 11 elimination points and 0 placement points. They couldn't manage to get into that top 7, top 8, so 11 points for them. Soldier Survivors played very well this game with 4 elimination points with a total of 10 total points. Trinity Gaming, that one solo, managed to get a few points as well. 3 elimination points for them for a total of 8 points. DBX following with Exosia as well, both 7 points. And Team, but unfortunately couldn't make it through this game with the champion. And yet again, I'm quite saddened to see original Black Panthers couldn't get some points as well, the only team from Gabon from this Group D. But for Miracle, Phoenix as well been trying into each game. We've been seeing Phoenix a lot into the Erangel map of tonight. We saw them trying to get into fights, trying to play aggressively, but it was not it. So these points, Kaido, these points are very, like these 2 games. I'm talking about the third Erangel map and that lost Miramar map. These points are definitely gonna change a lot into that overall ranking. There are gonna be teams, but we might think gonna be staying at the top 1, gonna definitely lose their top 1 place, and maybe it's gonna be very close between the top 3 and top 4. Definitely until I don't know what top. So we are going to get the overall ranking very soon, but we need to remind you that it was, of course, the PUBG Mobile Aim Africa brought to you by eSportsfaction. It's our first time in Mauritius thanks to Tencent, who managed to give us, like, it's the first time like we do a African competition, and it's the first time for us as well being casting into English. It was indeed very fun for us, but definitely it was some great 4 days of action that we witnessed. Kind of this semi-final was crazy, and it was unfortunate that we couldn't, of course, show you guys the group stage with that 120 team and coming all the way to 64 team. It was indeed crazy, but this time we're gonna see, of course, the top 16 team for the next few days that is coming. Tomorrow is gonna be a break time for all of these teams, but we are definitely gonna see 2 very good best of 7 matches that's gonna be playing for this final. So it's gonna be, book your calendar, ladies and gentlemen. It's gonna be this next Thursday and Friday. On Thursday, we're gonna have 4 maps, and of course, on Friday is gonna be 3 deadly maps for this team.
And is it gonna still start the same time as today?
Same time, same place.
Don't forget to turn on the notify button, so when we get onto the live, you will get notified. And we are also very impatient to see the top 4 teams, because we already know that 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏 is going to get qualified. 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏 Union also, they played very well. But we're still going to start from the bottom of the leaderboard to still a bit of teaser how it has been done.
Keep the suspense as usual. So who is on the second page of this overall ranking, ladies and gentlemen? Who did not perform that well, but we of course thank every team which participated into this tournament, every team which tried their best to reach the semi-final. Still a feat for them to reach that stage into that kind of tournament. Mauritian team are not that easy to handle, but a lot of African team. I'm very happy to see a lot of African team coming from the group A, B, C, which managed to get their place into this final. Will we see even more African team getting their place into that final? So overall, coming straight away for you. So the second page, we can see unfortunately the Gabon team at the last spot, but we thank them for their for coming into this tournament to reaching at least the semi-final, which is quite a feat, like I mentioned earlier, and we do welcome them for our future tournaments. So do stay tuned on our social of eSports Faction. We saw 4 Miracle and Champion. They were a team as well which gave us the fight, they gave us the party. We saw a lot of fight, but they were involved, a lot of fight, but of course they couldn't unfortunately confirming the elimination points. They got stolen from a lot of teams which was faster, definitely faster than them. You see Phoenix Esports as well into the 12th position. Saint Esports, the Madagascar team, unfortunately not being able to do that top performance, but you can see 𝗙𝗘𝗚𝗘 10, 11, 12, 13, they all have 11 points total.
It's pretty close, but I was expecting a better performance from Ruthless Esports because they are some experienced team that they have been playing into some different lobby than we're gonna say even DBX it has been only playing the Mauritian tournament, but still have a nice performance coming on 9. Now we're gonna see the top 8 teams for the leaderboard and still see the top 4 teams who get qualified. And the Mercenary Union actually passed X-Force Reject coming first with 65 points. X-Force Reject coming second, 58 points. Trinity Gaming third place coming 45 points. And Exusia coming fourth, 29 points. The top 4 teams that got qualified: X-Force Reject with no chicken dinner, the most elimination kill into this lobby, 46 kills. What a play that came from them, Mega.
Oh, that was crazy. And unfortunately, the 2 Nigerian team, OP Mafia Crew and Soldier Survival, couldn't make it through. But it was very close between OP Mafia Crew and Exusia. I believe the last game but gave Exusia quite a few placement points, which managed to create the difference. We are talking about just 3 points, let's say 4 points. If OP Mafia Crew managed to get a better first game, because the only game that OP Mafia Crew unfortunately we got into an early fight and lost early teammate, but in that first game they were lucky. That consistency that they kept could have given them a place into the final. But once again, 𝗙𝗘𝗚𝗘, we see a South African team and a Somalian team getting into this PMAA final. So that was of course the top 4 of this last group of these semi-finals. You all know which team has qualified, but if you don't, you know where to check. It's gonna be on www.social.esportsfaction.com. if of course you want to see again those crazy matches. I definitely recommend you the group A. So definitely this was the group with the most action so far. We also saw a group C with full of surprise, and of course a group D with some werewolves and sheep situation along with RGC performance. But Mercury with the combat, the only two group that we saw a back-to-back chicken dinner is the group C and the group D. But the remaining group, it was pretty much very spread. The chicken dinner was very spread between each team. But amazing game what we saw.
Amazing game, amazing days that we saw from the group stage. Unfortunately, it was not live, but for the semi-final, till the lobby A till today for the lobby D. We have been seeing, now we are seeing the overall ranking for the group A, and
just some flashback from what happened. We saw 𝗦𝗘𝗏𝗟𝗘𝗗𝗓 like playing very well, putting a lot of pressure into that group A. Like we saw 𝗦𝗘𝗏𝗘𝗗𝗏 as well, like putting a lot of plays at whereas 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗡𝗏 and Vibes Esports. Vibes Esports got into that top 4 with only consistency. So they played very well, and also a chicken dinner on the second game. They got a chicken dinner on the second game. So so 𝗦𝗘𝗏𝗘𝗏𝗏 got the first chicken dinner of that group A. Second was for Vibes and 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗡𝗏 and eSports as well. So the group B.
And there's a team also missing. 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗏𝗏𝗏 is not into the...
𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗏𝗏𝗏 is group D. We are showing the group A
the group
and
A,
the
sorry.
group B. So now it's the group B. We saw 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗏𝗏𝗏 like playing very well. But these teams, of course, they are not confirmed slot for the final because there are still gonna be some checks that's still gonna be going on these teams. So these things we need to be considering. So just a quick look from what happened from this group. We see the group D, group C. Especially, I'm quite happy to see a different country. Like we're talking about Mauritiana, Rex, Requiem, Quick, that really gave us a quick switch, I could say, of situation. They played very well for the fourth. And we got, for the third game, we got a chicken dinner on the third game and definitely played very well on the last game, which gave him the first place. And of course, a team, but we need to mention, 𝗬𝗏 XTC.
Yes.
Like a team that gave us quite nice, quite a lot of fights. So definitely, we can't wait to see this team, especially into that final, Skydo. I believe everyone together, all this team, we're talking about DK, Tampa, we're talking about Rogue Sport, 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 that we saw today, 𝗬𝗏, RRQ, all these teams that I can't wait to see into this final coming up soon. The day after tomorrow, of course, is gonna be on Thursday, and of course on Friday, the still remaining date of the final of the PUBG Mobile Aim Africa. We thank you for being around during the live stream of last week and this week. Of course, if you don't want to miss the action and if you want more updates, it's on the social of eSportsfaction that you need to go. And yeah, we're gonna meet again on Thursday, of course, for the 2 remaining final days. So it's gonna be the same time, at 20:30 Mauritian time, of course, so GMT +4. So I hope we're gonna see everyone here to check what's gonna happen, who's gonna get a hold on the prize pool. But we need to remind everyone, it's a total prize pool of 500 USD and a lot of UC as well. But definitely the aim of this team that we just saw, the aim is for the top 1 position, that invitational slot for the PUBG Mobile Aim Africa. It's a direct slot for that LAN, the most awaited LAN final for Africa that we have been waiting for a lot of years, guys. You've been participating like online for PMPL.
Yes,
You've been
we never had this opportunity.
Definitely. All these African
𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. Yes, thank you 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 for offering these opportunity for those players actually still playing and competing, because we thought that Africa that had no hopes onto the global for PUBG Mobile. But thank you for 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 to be able to have the players to have the opportunity to go on Kenya to Nairobi for the finals. But which team from Aim Africa who is gonna go there directly for the final?
And maybe that team that gonna go from PUBG Mobile Aim Africa going into PUBG Mobile Africa Cup and wins Africa Cup and going into PMGC and win that. We hope it's gonna be an African team who's gonna win PMGC this year, but we can't wait for all this action. But unfortunately, we're gonna see even more action on next Thursday. So stay tuned for the next live. So we thank you for being with us, and we see you on the next show. So it was eSportsfaction with you, 𝗦𝗧𝗏 and 𝗦𝗘𝗏𝗏, of course. We'll see you in the day after tomorrow. Have a great night.
Take
Bye.
care.